find it eventually.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I guess I should take that down too. I am behind it today.
Oh, that's all right, man.
But welcome everybody to Hardcore Heels. It's been a while since we've done one of these episodes, but it's post Wrestlemania. It was a big weekend.
Yeah.
This past week. I mean, there's been a lot of news coming out. Unfortunately, we did lose a wrestler last night. We'll get to talking about that at some point.
Yeah.
But I am your host, Sewardweller. And joining me tonight is Dr. Raz T. Slasher.
Hey.
And it is post-WrestleMania. It's the post-WrestleMania, I guess, depression, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. In a lot of ways, I think.
I think Las Vegas might be... I think, in all honesty, they're happy to get rid of the wrestling fans out of the city for after the past, 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, they got enough problems on their own.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they don't miss that money.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a ton of money that comes in for WrestleMania. And brand new to the show, you get to see my face for my ugly face for a change, as we did. I finally after a year of podcasting got a webcam.
Woo!
Well, we can thank the wife for that, because WrestleMania is technically our anniversary. That is literally, we met at Walmart. I ruined WrestleMania 34 by telling her The Undertaker lost. And she called me an asshole, and now 11 years later, here we are.
And you're still an asshole.
I make a lot of money doing it.
True.
I do my best to be an asshole, especially if you watch if you watch the Destination Stone video from Hell's Dungeon over the past weekend. I gotta put it. I posted it on my Facebook page. I gotta put it on the Twitter page.
It was epic, man. Honestly, that was a fun ass video, and then we got the uncut and unedited Scare Factor video coming out any day now.
Well, that's good, because we need to see Nurse Enya. They had I know Destination Stone's more of like a family oriented PG rated.
Oh no, it wasn't just that though. They cut out the whole back of the asylum and didn't pick up again until Rika.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I noticed they didn't show Brooke, and they didn't show, well, not Brooke, but Nurse Rosie, and they didn't show the elevator.
Yeah, they didn't show a lot of stuff. They did also have a camera issue, so I'm gonna guess that's probably why.
It's very possible. She kept shoving eggs in her breasts. So
yeah.
And
they were cool.
I had to laugh because outside she had a different voice, and we start recording and she does that squeaky voice, and I'm just sitting there like, what the hell?
I'm not gonna lie, when me and Fred were watching, we thought she was using a voice modulator or something to make her voice sound like that until we realized, oh no, she's actually doing that voice.
Yeah, she kept changing her voice the whole way through. Like her voice kept changing from the squeakiness to the southern. She said "son of a tater tots," and I had to call her out on that because
Yeah,
you're gonna say "son of anything." Say "son of a bitch." Go
that
for
was
the
epic.
gold.
The call out was epic too, and she kept that in the video.
Yeah, they did a reel for it too, which I was proud of.
Yeah, dude.
But we digress.
You've been in a lot of shit with us lately. We just did that live with Zach Pitts, and you had that classic line at the end: "Come find us, or we'll find you." That was fucking brilliant, by the way.
I've been wanting to say that in a video, and I just never had a chance till literally that video. I've been wanting
And
to say that
it
for a
was the
while.
perfect fucking moment, dude. Seriously.
But also, I mean, we can go ahead and announce it tonight because I guess it was technically announced June 13th and 14th. The
Yeah.
Hell's Dungeon will be open.
Movie Mayhem Weekend.
So come on down if you're in Dayton, Ohio, in the Dayton, Ohio area, or you can get to Dayton, Ohio, the 13th and 14th of June, Friday the 13th. Come check it out. We actually lost an actor from the Friday the 13th series this week too.
Yeah, she played Tina in Part 7, The Psychic, who, by the way, we are doing a thing for. We are going to have someone playing her character in the Jason sequence, just to kind of honor her passing.
Well, that's cool because she was that is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, same.
I mean, especially because the guy who plays Bernie, Weekend at Bernie's gets murdered pretty harshly in that. Man, his character kind of fucking deserved it.
Oh no, not kinda. He 100,000,000% deserves that shit.
Yeah,
douche.
So, just to get this out of the way too, besides Hell's Dungeon opening up tomorrow afternoon, make sure to tune in 4:05 p.m. for the 420 episode of the Bloody Binge Movie Show. Not the Bloody Binge Movie Podcast anymore. It is the Bloody Binge Movie Show because, YouTube tends to hide stuff if you put podcast in the title.
This is true. This is very true.
So it is now the Bloody Binge Movie Show, but we're doing a belated 420 episode because it was kind of hard last week. Trying to do WrestleMania, Easter, and 420 all in the same week. So last week we watched the classic No Holds Barred. And again, I always forget how much I love that movie.
And I'm so sad I couldn't make it for that, dude. I absolutely love that movie. I saw it in theaters the day it came out. I've probably seen it 1,000,000 times.
I watched it the first time for the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view they did 2 days after Christmas on the 27th of December that year, where they showed the movie and then you had the match.
Yep.
The Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake against Zeus and Randy Savage.
Yep.
We got a few other wrestling movies coming out soon. There's somebody just released a wrestling movie. I can't remember the title of it off the top of my head that I'm interested in seeing. And I think Chris Jericho has actually just released a wrestling movie that actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, on oh my god, what's the name of that? Shudder. It's a Shudder exclusive. Yeah.
Shudder. I'm always iffy about Shudder.
Well, here's my thing, man. Like, I used to subscribe to it a lot, but if you just subscribe to AMC Plus, which actually has a lot of other great content on it, it automatically includes everything from Shudder now, and it's cheaper than Shudder was. So I just fucking do that now.
Well, when I first did Shudder, it was because I wanted to watch the Joe Bob live, Bob live shows. But then you realize, unless you watch the actual Shudder, not the one that's on Amazon, you can't watch it live.
You can watch it live through AMC Plus, though.
See, I haven't seen that either. I didn't get a chance to see when I had AMC Plus, but I'll definitely be looking at it because I like the Joe Bob shows. That was like the whole reason I even got Shudder to begin with was Joe Bob.
Same.
But yes, so tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time, Evil Bong. And then next week, again, if you're a haunter, we are looking for more stories. We have about 4, I think, right now. 3 people ready to come on next week to talk about their paranormal experiences in their haunted houses that they work for.
I have numerous for this.
I hope you'll be there.
Oh yeah, I already guarantee you guys gonna be there, man. That's in my schedule.
Yeah, and hopefully Jen will have her stuff together and she can show up too because I know she was excited for this episode.
Yeah, I miss her very, very much.
Yes, hopefully everything is fixed with her on her end. But if you have a story that you would like to relay on the show, or if you would like just for me to read the story, email me at bloodybinge@gmail.com, and we'll work it on to get you on the show. Again, it's next Thursday we're doing the show. Whether it's 4 stories, if some of those people dip or not, trust me, I'll have something prepared.
Oh yeah.
Because there are plenty of haunts out there in historical buildings that will 100% have really interesting stories, including Dent Schoolhouse.
Oh yes.
Because I know Dent Schoolhouse, you got the Ohio Reformatory up in, I still can't, off the top of my head, remember this city. I keep wanting to say Marysville, but I know it's not Marysville. But anyway, there's Eastern State Penitentiary that has their haunted house. There's just so many haunts out there. In classic movies.
Riverside JC's actually the building that they're in used to be attached underground to a building across the road that no longer exists, and which was then connected to that yellow mansion, the Harshman Mansion. That was actually a part of the Underground Railroad.
I believe that.
There's a lot of history in the existing haunt over there too.
See, and I got to look that up though and do a video there.
Oh yeah, it's cool shit, man.
I still got to go do. I'm planning. I got a few videos planned, like reels planned. I guess weird locations you could call it, like the cemetery that I did a couple months ago, the Paulus Cemetery, and
that was epic.
I did Frankenstein's Tower, but it was kind of hard to do a video because I didn't realize how many freaking people go there.
Oh yeah, all the time, man. I mean, people have been going there nonstop since like the 70s, when everything, not too long after everything happened.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that go there,
and it's got 3 different names too.
Yeah, Frankenstein's Tower, Kettering Tower, and the Witch's Tower.
Oh, 4 Patterson Tower.
Was it the Patterson Tower as well?
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, I read online about it before I went in because I never really found a reason why it was called the Witch's Tower.
Oh, I can answer that for you actually. I mean, I know it's not the show for it, but fuck it. I'll do the short version. So after the initial events, what happened, the deaths that happened inside of it, there was actually a what they thought they were a group of pagans, like doing some really fucked up shit. And this was actually a separate incident involving a summoning they did that the story goes, it caused a very short minor eclipse at night. And then directly after, when the moon was visible again, so lunar eclipse, there was a giant burst of flame that supposedly came out of the top of the tower. And to this day, at 3 a.m. any night you go there, you can see what looks like spirits, like almost like a beacon on the top of the tower with spirits flying around it. That's the whole thing.
Jesus.
Again, that's the very short version.
Yeah, but I found a couple more places I'm going to go check out. Tadmore. I don't know if you know what that is. I was going to do it a couple weeks ago, but I wasn't dressed for a hike, and it's like almost a 1.5 mile hike.
Dude, I got a bunch of accessible places I can get you, and I'll go with you.
Yeah, because I've been wanting to do more reels about and TikToks about creepy places and things like that. Because I'm in Virginia, I could sit here and point out 1 million places.
See, yeah, I'm like that here in Ohio. I can show you anything. There's a ton just in our own backyard, dude.
Yeah,
and quite a few of them we can legally go to even at night.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta talk to my buddy. It turns out my buddy who does the Bigfoot hunting that we've talked about before has retired.
Oh,
he's retired from doing it now. So he's been on TV. He's been on who's messaging me? Okay. Sorry, a wrestling friend of mine is messaging me. I'm like, why is he messaging me right now? But I forgot where I was going. Where was I going with this? What was I talking about a minute ago, Raz?
Oh, you're talking about wanting to do reels in places. Then you were talking about
TikToks. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'd want to do. Oh, my buddy. Yeah, he was on TV. He was on TV. He's been on the Travel Channel, Destination America. I don't know if you ever heard of a show called Terror in the Woods.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
He was in the Bigfoot episode where they were hunted by Bigfoot. And he's been paid for his story like to come to different conventions and things. Like he went to I want to say he was out in California for the 50th anniversary of the Patterson Gimlin film.
Oh, nice.
And got to speak at that convention. Just absolutely, he absolutely had a blast. He got to go to the Redwood Forest and the location where they filmed the Patterson Gimlin film. Yeah, he's done a lot. But we're talking about creepy stuff, and we got a lot of wrestling to talk about.
Well, this is on the the LA Network, so whirling is sort of our thing.
It is. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with pre-WrestleMania. I'm not going to go through all the shows this week because that will just take forever with all the shows.
Oh God, yes.
And that. But we're going to start with the big news right before WrestleMania started. And as I actually went, because I was watching it in the break room while waiting for makeup, I went looking for you, and I ended up talking to Matt about it for a while. But it was revealed on the WrestleMania pre-show that TKO and WWE have acquired AAA Wrestling in Mexico.
Yes. Holy shit, dude.
That is the most epic news that could have come out of WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, they've already, if you listen to the internet, they already had one of their worst PR weeks ever, which, the fuck they didn't. They really didn't. I mean, most people, Roman Reigns is a Trump supporter. So fucking what? Who cares? It's not your business. It has no correlation with the character.
Yep.
Just watch the show. It doesn't fuck politics. There's a reason we don't talk about politics on the network, and definitely on my show I don't talk about politics or religion unless it happens to come up in a movie or any kind of fact when we do shivers and that,
Yeah.
Educational wise.
Or maybe Brother Love.
Maybe Brother Love as well, yes. But, everybody's saying they had a bad PR week because Roman Reigns said in Vanity Fair, answered a question that shouldn't have fucking been asked to begin with.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's a bad PR week. Triple H, Nick Khan both come out and say, yeah, we don't listen to the IWC. Well, no fucking shit, they don't listen to the IWC. Why the fuck would they listen to the IWC?
They don't need to.
The IWC was bitching and whining the day after at the Royal Rumble. Jeez, I won the Royal Rumble. Well, guess this is the downfall of WWE. Oh, why? Because 300 to 1,000 people online say it is.
Oh no, the internet.
Oh no, 1,000 people are unhappy that Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, but there's like 16,000 people in the fucking stadium yeeting.
Yep. Oh yeah.
That's just the kind of shit that's the kind of shit that's when I start arguing online. It's like, dude, why would they care? Why would they care what you think? You're sitting here telling them, well, you're doing this wrong. Well, according to the 16,000 people in the stadium, no, we're not.
And the millions and millions all over the world.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to do it.
But yes. Now the speculations come up now. Why? What are they planning to do with AAA?
That's a good question.
My thoughts.
What do you think?
Have any thoughts? Do you have any? Do you have any thoughts first?
I'm curious to see where you're going first, man.
I think Triple H and TKO are secretly trying to build an NWA territory style.
Honestly, that's pretty much where I was at too.
AAA, Mexico. It's starting to look like they might be trying to buy New Japan. And even if they don't buy that would be nuclear. That would be a nuclear meltdown on the internet. And I'm here for it. I am 100% here for that nuclear meltdown.
Yeah.
But not only that, it could be Noah because they've been working with Noah a lot.
That's true.
There's so many, where I think they're starting to work with a company in India now as well. If and
that actually kind of makes a lot of sense if you really think about, like all the shows they've been doing and everything. I know they have a lot of feelers out over in the UK too.
Oh yeah, because they would love to do another NXT UK.
Oh yeah,
that was a Vince thing to cancel that shit.
Yeah, it was. It was bullshit.
But, yeah, I 100% think they're almost trying to do like the territories would be your NXT Mexico, your NXT Japan, your NXT UK, and that. and then move them up. Which
I mean, we're already pretty much NXT North America because there's a lot of Americans and Canadians.
well, not only that, they're working with the indies now. Over the weekend at the Collective, GCW, and I want to say one other company held a WWE ID tournament
That's nice
for
to
their
hear.
championship.
I know. Oh my God, what are the one is the one that Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins runs right now?
NWA.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, well, he was gonna buy TNA, but Dixie wouldn't agree to
Again.
basically drop control. So he said, "No, fuck that. I'm not gonna buy
Yeah,
shit."
I remember that shit. There was actually money exchange, and there was a lawsuit that happened to give him his money back.
Yeah, because I think it was like supposed to be him and Toby Keith.
It was. It
We're
was.
going to buy it. We're going to buy it. But Dixie, one of the things they had to do, or Dixie had to agree to, was that she could stay on and work, but you're not going to be in charge of creative
hmm
because look what the fuck you've done for the past 10 years.
And I feel like NWA, or my God, TNA got lost in relevance for a really long fucking time, man.
They did. Like
And
honestly, it was one of.
Joe
Go ahead.
Hendry
Sorry.
kind of brought him back, as lame as that is.
Who did?
Joe Hendry.
Oh no, they've been coming. Yeah, Joe Hendry's helped, but they've been coming back for a while now. Like they've been
Oh yeah, yeah.
putting
But
on
like the
great
WWE,
shows.
interworkings have definitely helped TNA a lot.
Oh yeah, them bringing in the TNA talent and that's why I have to sit here. Well, that's the other thing too. That's the other rumor is that they might be trying to buy TNA.
Yeah. And Vince did this once before too. It ended up buying some of their back catalog from him, and that was about it.
Yeah, for AJ Styles and Sting
Yeah.
and. But yes, so that's 100% where I think they're going. I honestly almost think he's trying to do a territory. He's trying to do the territories, which I'm 100% for.
I mean, if you ask me, H is bringing wrestling back. It's making wrestling again.
Yeah, he's bringing back the old school style. And the thing about it is the wrestling fans over the past 5 or 6 years have been telling, people, hey, even the casuals are like, hey, we want more. We want more content.
Mm-hmm.
We want to watch more of this.
Yep.
The GCW stuff, over what is it, Wednesday or Thursday? I can't remember when they did this thing called Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Where I watched it and it's interesting.
I've heard of it, but not watched it.
It's interesting. It's almost it's still wrestling. It's still not real. It's still not necessarily not real, but it's still the
scripted,
predetermined stuff. But it's more grappling and stuff like that oriented. Where you have there was a lot of WWE and TNA and or NXT talent on the show. You're talking Charlie Dempsey, Killer Cross was on it.
Oh yeah,
Natalia Neidhart was on it, and got into it with her opponent after the match. And it wasn't like all the WWE talent was going over and was winning.
Oh yeah,
it was a good friendly mix. Like the only one that I kind of knew they weren't gonna, and the guy that Killer Cross fought looked pretty legitimately like a badass.
Oh yeah.
But it was interesting. It was fun to watch.
I can honestly say for any naysayers, I own a couple shares of stock in TKO. And let me just tell you, man, since they were done with Bench, it's gone up a decent amount. And yeah, they waver and they went down a little bit on WrestleMania, the last day of WrestleMania, which is normal. And then Monday hit and they spiked right back above where they were before the drop. So like trust me, the market shares for TKO right now are really good. And that really started, with what's going on with wrestling. That's what's, kicked that whole thing up.
No. You got to listen to the IWC. The IWC says WWE's dying.
Really? Okay. So that's my
no, Dave Meltzer's correct about everything. You know this.
Yeah, the biggest moron ever opened his mouth.
Never wrong about anything.
Except for everything.
Because AEW gets 1 million viewers now, right? Because you gotta add these numbers, these magical numbers from HBO Max that nobody can ever prove.
And also, I don't even know if 1 million people know it exists.
They don't. That's the thing, and I think a lot of people don't understand is there's a reason why WWE is the top dog. It's because you can put the WWE logo on any wrestling show, and people will turn out.
Yeah.
They don't even need to know who the fuck's on the show or who's
No.
wrestling or anything like that. But you put a WWE logo on your show, and you got a guaranteed fan base.
Because we've come to have a certain expectation of the quality of a show if WWE's got their name on it, especially these days. So
Yes.
any other wrestling thing, you got to be worried a little bit in a lot of situations.
Well, no, it's like I joke. Was it last year? I think it was at a Comic-Con or something. Mercedes Moné is sitting there with her title, doing her dance, trying to get people to chant CEO, and people are just walking by going, "Who's that chick?"
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there going, "No, you know what they're doing? They're walking by going, who's the drunk bitch with the WWE title, the fake WWE titles?"
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. They don't know who she is.
Oh yeah.
But you put her back in WWE as Sasha, and everybody would be like, "Oh, it's Sasha." But in AEW, it's just, man, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, man.
Exactly. Everybody knows WWE because of the Hulk Hogan's, because of the Stone Colds, because of The Rock, and everything like that. Which we'll get into The Rock here in a little bit. But everybody knows what the WWE is. They don't have to explain to people what it is. If somebody sees an AEW logo, you're gonna have to fucking explain to them what AEW is.
Exactly. Bullshit.
Even wrestling fans who've been watching for years, they're still going, what the hell? So you can put AEW on HBO Max all you want, but guess what? People are sure they might have a couple of million subscribers, but guess what? 90% of those people don't give a shit about wrestling.
Definitely, dude. Definitely. And from my understanding, did AEW not just lose the other founding brother officially?
Which other founding brother?
The other Rhodes?
No, Dustin's not one of the founders. Dustin's still there.
I heard his contract was either up or about to be.
They're gonna re-sign him.
Okay, because a lot of people were expecting him to show up at WrestleMania.
Nah, they're gonna re-sign him. No, Dustin really isn't one of the quote-unquote founders. The founders would be considered Tony Khan, the Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Cody Rhodes. And in all honesty, Cody Rhodes did a lot more for the business than what they want to give him credit for.
Oh, a ton more, man. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. The only reason why I knew about AEW was Cody Rhodes for a while. I still didn't watch it, but that was why I knew it existed.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of when their first champion is Chris Jericho, and there's a reason for that, and it was a smart reason. People in the wrestling world know who Chris Jericho is. Now, if you put MJF or Darby Allin or one of these other fools up there, Sammy Guevara as champion, it would literally come down to who the fuck? Why is this 5'2" dude with half his face painted like a skeleton the champion?
Right.
And it's just fact. It's just how it would be.
That's because the ECW zombie was busy that day.
Yes. But then the first feud was what? Jericho and Moxley? Something like that, or Omega and Moxley?
I've never watched anything from AEW.
I've watched I've watched some of it. I've been to a couple of shows, and in all honesty, again, I reiterate when I went to the couple of shows with free tickets. By the way, I did not pay for them.
Right.
It came down to, there's a reason. One of the reasons I don't go back, and one of the reasons I have a big problem with them is their fans.
Yeah.
It's their fan base. My best example I can give you is I used to go to Rockstar down on 3rd Street here in Dayton every single week. And I mean every single week for like 6 years. I was at this show. They ran all their pay-per-views, all their shows. I was in the same seat every week. There's even a video of Sami Callihan putting me through a freaking chair on their YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
But
actually, I know of a local wrestling show you're probably going to want to see in September.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Fred about that one, actually.
Yeah. That's there's some solid movement on that, and multiple cast members might be involved in that.
Yes. But there was a guy, and people probably, unless you're like a really big indie fan, you don't remember a guy named David Starr. David Starr basically fucked his own career. He was one of these guys who was always, the whole trust the women are always telling the truth and all this stuff. He was one of the first people on the Calling Out or something like that back in 2020 where that like wiped out half the UK wrestling scene.
Yeah.
He was one of the first guys called out on this shit by his wife because he was essentially sexually assaulting his wife.
Right.
But he would come and people would cheer, and he was a damn good wrestler. I'm not gonna take that away from him. He was a damn good wrestler. But there was this one guy who would get on his knees and fucking blow him if he could. This guy was always David Starr this, David Starr that, to the point where it's like, you know what? I don't even fucking like the guy now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see this guy anymore because you keep telling me how great he is and shit like that. And it's like, now I don't want to fucking see him.
Yep.
And it started, floating through the crowd of the people who were there every week. It's like, no, we kind of don't want to see this guy now because this motherfucker over here won't shut up about him.
Right. And
eventually he didn't come. He stopped coming. Had a hell of a match with Dave Christ. It was an Iron Man match. It was a 60-minute Iron Man match. And by the end, they basically pulled the Bret Hart, HBK. There were no pins. There were no falls in the hour. The crowd starts chanting 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes or something like that. And the owner or the promoter comes out and goes, no, we're not going to do that. These motherfuckers are going to fight until somebody loses.
Yeah.
They went for another 45 minutes.
Damn, dude.
They broke the record. They broke the record for longest match in history by about 2 or 3 minutes.
Damn.
And it was a damn good match. It was great. You didn't even realize it was almost a 2-hour match. But again, this guy, nobody fucking liked him because they wouldn't. Just this one guy wouldn't shut the hell up about him. And when I say not shut the hell up, it was if you don't cheer for the same guy I like, then you don't know wrestling. You don't know what you like. You don't know it. Guess what AEW fans have been doing for 6 years?
Yeah.
If you don't like the same shit I do, then you don't like wrestling.
Yep.
No, I love wrestling. I've been watching wrestling for 40 fucking years.
You're right.
I don't like flips. I don't like no selling. I don't like violence for the sake of violence. If you're going to put violence in a match, and again, I'll sit here and tell you all day long, I will watch a death match. I like death matches.
Yep.
I
want
them to have a fucking reason.
Yep.
And in AEW, they don't seem to have a reason.
No.
But all right, so we talked about the big news going into Mania. The other news that was going right before Mania is apparently Bayley got attacked and she was going to have to be pulled from the match. Pissed a lot of people off on the internet. But then when you remind these people that a month ago you were calling her Bayley Hogan.
Yeah. Yep.
They kind of get a little mad about that.
Yep. No, I didn't. Here's your screenshot, bitch.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, you did. We know what you meant. But now all of a sudden, because you think she's gonna jump ship to AEW, which by the way, she admitted she's got 1.5 years left on her contract, guys.
Yep.
She ain't going nowhere for at least 1.5 years. If she even goes then, because we don't know what the future of AEW is going to be in 1.5 years.
We don't know if it'll exist by then at this point.
I think it'll exist. I think it'll exist because I don't think Tony Khan's smart enough to close.
Oh yeah. I see them as a ship that's been on fire for a while that's gradually just sinking into the sea as it drives away.
Tony Khan, his ego won't allow it. It just won't. His ego will not allow him to close it. But I think what's going to happen is because we all know how bad Warner Brothers is doing right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even the Minecraft movie is not going to save them.
No.
You're talking. This isn't like millions and millions of dollars being lost. You're talking billions.
Yep.
And not just per year. You're talking billions per quarter. So literally over 3 months, every 3 months, they're losing billions and billions of dollars.
They do have a pretty big monetary influx on the horizon, though, but I don't know if it'll be enough.
Talking about the DC movies?
That too, actually, numerous. You've got the DC movies, of course, which are actually looking very promising for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, that Superman movie looks sweet.
The Gremlins revival might not be as important to some people, but I think that's going to go. It's looking good already. You've got the Universal deal that they've got for the new Harry Potter theme park that just opened as a part of the the new Universal park that's open.
Epic Universe, yeah.
And that's already blowing up big time. You've got the new Harry Potter show coming out very soon. And that's already
I don't know.
blowing up.
I'm on the fence about that. I don't know about that.
I'll definitely watch it from day one.
I think a lot of people are mad about it.
They're mad for a lot of things.
Well, I mean, I think usually I don't care about casting and that, but yeah, I think they got the wrong person to play Snape.
Oh, everybody agrees on that. Everybody can agree that if it's not Adam Driver, it's pointless.
Well, I mean, a lot of the casting, and it's one of those things. If it comes down to race, yeah, I usually don't care, but
yeah,
literally in the book, Snape is described as oily-haired, pale-skinned, and all this stuff, and hook-nosed.
And she was ambiguous about a lot of characters that could be literally any race. To be quite honestly, a lot of characters were intentionally ambiguously done, but he wasn't one of them.
No. It was one he had to be pale because it was, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be creepy looking.
Yeah. But on the other hand, we do get Nick Frost as Hagrid, and I'm very excited about that.
Is he Hagrid? Oh, yeah, it's Hagrid. Yeah.
I am super fucking excited about that, man.
Anytime you give me Nick Frost, I'm good. I'll
oh my god. And what's his name? Oh my god. Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, John Lithgow. Yeah, it's gonna be Dumbledore.
That's a good choice there, dude.
Yes.
Like, even though that one choice I'm really upset with, just about all the other choices I'm so excited about that I'm gonna suck it up.
It's just one of those things where it's gonna take people out of the show. Like, it's gonna be because you're gonna be like, this isn't Snape. This isn't how they describe Snape.
I think it will, but I'm hoping. I mean, he's a good actor, though. Is the downside of the situation, and what I'm hoping is his acting is just so spot on that what takes us out at first, we begrudgingly overlook.
Hopefully, because I like Harry Potter. I've been wanting a Harry Potter TV series or something to actually follow the books. Because
from the number of seasons they're discussing right now, I think we're going to get more than just Harry Potter books.
Because I just want more of the backstories and stuff like that, that they left out of the movies. And I'm hoping that by the time we get to the final season, if it makes it to a final season, we get the proper fight between Voldemort and Harry and Potter.
Yeah,
I hate how they did it in the movies.
My understanding is they are going to do some past stuff that was mentioned in the book. They were trying to do a little bit with Fantastic Beasts, like the actual duel between Dumbledore and Grindelwald. They're talking about doing a number of those things, like alongside everything else, which would be very nice. Yeah. Even potentially a season or a part of a season that brings it back to James Potter and Sirius and everybody.
That could work. Well, then that's the stuff I think they need to be doing, and that's there's a reason why what the Snow White just failed. People don't want to see rehashed shit. They want new creative stuff.
I mean, I think it's also more that why the fuck do we need live action versions so often? They started with Cinderella like what, a decade ago, and it didn't go well then, and they just kept doing it. It's not, people don't give a shit.
No, I don't even know if there's been any live action versions that have actually done well, because the Aladdin one fucking sucked.
Oh man, it bombed so bad. The Lion King one did okay, but like you can't even call that,
Well, like the Aladdin one, I just sat and watched, and I'm just sitting there like, no, Will Smith is terrible at this.
He was very bad being Genie, man.
You mean to tell me you can't find a comedian?
Yeah.
Somebody who was funny, because that's what Robin Williams brought to the character, was the voices and being funny. Will Smith can't do that shit.
They should have just gotten Sinbad so he could have finally been a genie.
This is true. But again, we digress. We're going into the wrong area. Again, this is what happens. You get movie nerds talking about wrestling.
Yeah. We're just nerds,
but,
period, dude. We're just nerds, period.
Yes. But going in, Bayley gets attacked, so they've got to replace Bayley. So now we have two mysteries. Who's Bayley's tag team partner going to be? Who's going to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania? So we're going to go into the card. We're going to go through the card real quick. The first match of night 1. Jey Uso defeats Gunther to win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Which was a match way deserving of a better spot on the card, man.
Via tap out.
I
had a feeling they were going to do it first. But go ahead.
He deserved way better than that, honestly. Way fucking better than the first slot on the card. I'm still pissed about it.
I kind of knew when they started moving towards Punk, Reigns, and Rollins what was going to happen. I knew that was going to be a main event because Punk doesn't have but a couple of WrestleManias left in him, and he deserves his main event, and that's what they gave him this year.
Right.
But I'm okay with him opening, in all honesty, because a couple years ago, Rollins wins the Rumble, goes after Brock Lesnar. It's the first match on the fucking card.
Yeah.
And but back then they played it off as Brock Lesnar going, look, I don't want to fucking sit around here. I want to go home. Let's do this shit now. Which Gunther wasn't doing, but Gunther loses. He taps out on top of everything. He taps out, which a lot of people have had a problem with. I don't have a problem with him tapping out because
it was brilliant.
It makes him smart. He being the ring general, he's supposed to be the chess player. And the chess player knows you tap out now and you come back later. You've lived to fight another day. You don't let him knock you out because, technically if you're choked out, if you're knocked out like that, it can cause some serious damage. So if you're going out, you tap the fuck out and you come back and fight another day. But Jey Uso finally gets his moment. He wins the WWE, which one is the world title, I think? Yeah, the World Heavyweight Championship. And it actually was a decent match, too, on top of that. It was a good backup, but definitely better than what he did last year. I'm not going to lie. I was watching this because we had a show that night. I was watching it in the break room right after I got done with my makeup. So I was sitting in the back of the break room watching WrestleMania.
I went WrestleMania News blackout effectively. Somehow I actually did it until Sunday, because Sunday over here at the house, we had a couple people over and we watched day 1, then had about an hour break before night 2 came on.
Oh, I after that I never touched my phone. I came home, washed my face off, which I'm not gonna. I didn't care for my makeup this last weekend.
Oh, you're not the only one.
Yeah, well, I told the first night I told the girl what I wanted, and she did what she wanted to do, and I'm just like, no, I'm kind of the guy who should just decide what I want to do with my own makeup, especially when it's a very simple, basic makeup that I've been doing for years.
Yep.
But I digress again. But yeah, I was sitting in the back watching this match live as it happened because I knew it was the first match, and it literally ended right before Fred started his speech.
Meeting.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So, but what'd you think of the match, though, Raz?
Dude, I fucking loved every second of it. This thing had such a solid story build up, honestly. At first, I just thought it was going to be throwaway. But the more and more they built that fucking story, the more and more satisfying that submission was.
Yeah, and like I said, it just, to me, it just seemed like Gunther playing chess, You tap out now, you come back and fight another day.
But for the ring general to tap was such a fucking embarrassment for him, and as far as the story goes.
Yeah, we find out more about that on Monday.
Oh yeah.
And in all honesty, I'm not gonna lie though. In all honesty, this show kind of dive bombed after that.
Yeah.
Our second match of the night, again, a match that I called New Day defeats the War Raiders to become the new World Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
I called this one last week too. I think I'm actually 2 for 2. Because I did my my WrestleMania picks on the show last week.
Okay. Yeah, we did them here at home. I was 2 for 2 so far.
But yeah, I kind of knew the New Day was going to win. Their heel characters are brilliant. They're awesome as heels.
Oh yeah.
The Raiders, as much as I love the War Raiders, they're just not bringing in a crowd. They're not getting the reactions.
And that's why I heard they're going on break again soon.
Which is weird because they just got back.
Yeah.
But not much really to talk about. Like I said, the match was okay. I didn't really, not gonna lie, I had it on in the background while I was cleaning the house a little bit.
I watched the whole thing avidly, and I just, it was a match. It was a match that would have been great. A great match had it have been on a normal show. But for a pay-per-view, it just it was lackluster.
Well, I mean, that's what a lot of people are complaining about right now, too, is why was this match on pay-per-view and they're putting a triple threat TLC match on SmackDown tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to know why? Because y'all don't fucking react. You don't react to DIY and you don't react to the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yep.
You can't sit here and put Motor City Machine Guns and DIY out there in front of 60,000 people to hear fucking crickets.
Yep.
That's why it's on SmackDown and not WrestleMania.
They deserve so much more than that.
They do. They do. I love DIY. I love the Motor City Machine Guns. And it's going to be a fantastic match. It's going to be fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, and it would have been put on WrestleMania if people didn't sit on their fucking hands.
Mm-hmm. Be part of the solution, not the fucking problem, man.
Yes. You want to sit and bitch about, I don't know why this person's not getting pushed because he comes out the crickets.
Yep.
It's like what is it when if you watch Family Guy, anytime Meg comes out, or no, it was, what was it? I think it was Kathleen Turner was coming out of everybody was like it was at a red carpet event. They're all taking pictures, and Kathleen Turner comes out, and everybody just stops taking pictures.
Yeah.
And then like one you hear one click go off, and you just hear the guy go, "Whoops." Yeah. Guess what? Yeah. Guess what? If you don't fucking react, they're not gonna put him on the show.
No.
Moving on to our next match. Match that I was actually looking forward to because of the story, because of the feud. Jade Cargill defeats Naomi.
I was looking forward to that match until I watched it.
Jade is, I want to say, I want her to be good because she's got the look. She's okay. She's not great, but she's okay. And Naomi, I've not been a fan of Naomi's for a while though.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of her.
I liked her before, but her shit leaving with Sasha the way she did kind of put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Oh yeah,
I think, and this match could have been a lot better, but I also don't think they got enough time either because again, you put Jade out there for too long, and you're gonna expose her.
There was already some botch moves going on that were obvious.
Yeah. So, but Jade Cargill.
I really want to like her too. I'm struggling to.
Which one, Jade or Naomi?
Jade. I'm never gonna like Naomi. I've never liked Naomi. As a person, I like her. As a wrestler, I've never liked Naomi.
The positive is she is the better of the two. Lucha. What do you call it?
She's better at stripping. Yes.
Nah, the dancer. I can't remember the Funkadactyls.
Oh yeah.
Better of the Funkadactyls. But then Naomi's not going to say Naomi's a bad wrestler. She's actually a pretty good wrestler when she has.
Not a bad wrestler. I just never cared about her. I just never had a good reason to really give a shit about her. Was the thing. But I mean, she is a great wrestler. I don't know. She just never hit it for me, man.
Well, the night took a little bit of an upturn for our next match and I don't know where Matt is, but I know he's smiling, or I don't know if he might be crying right now because Jacob Fatu defeated LA Knight for the United States Championship.
And this is the first one I called wrong.
I called him. I'm 4 for 4 right now. Was it 1, 2,
I
3,
I
4?
love Jacob Fatu. Like since you turned me on to him, dude, I started paying a lot of attention. I love him,
Yeah.
but they had him beat Braun, so I thought he was going to be the next big fucking monster to start putting people over. And with all the short end of every stick the LA Knight's been getting for a while now, I felt like this was going to be that time where they took the werewolf and they used him to finally put LA, really over. I was wrong.
Let's see. Nah, this is Jacob. It's his first WrestleMania. Fatu is just such a badass,
He is.
and
He deserved it.
that's the other thing too.
I
They
like LA
wanted,
Knight, but I was kind of glad to be wrong about that one.
yeah. This is one of the matches that it really didn't matter who won. Everybody was going to be happy because everybody loves LA Knight. Everybody loves Jacob Fatu.
And it was a great match.
The thing about Fatu, and the reason I think I like Fatu so much, is simply because he's that old school, legitimate badass.
Oh yeah.
He's one of them guys you're not going to walk up to on the street and go, "Oh, you're a wrestler? Well, I know I could kick your ass." No, because he'll slap the shit out of you.
Yep.
And he won't think twice about it.
Yep.
But he after the match, I don't know if they showed it on the show or not. I don't think they did. But Haku jumped the rail and congratulated him.
I saw that. That was fucking epic, dude.
Yes.
Loved seeing that.
Which is great, even though Haku's technically not part of the Anawati family, but they're
still,
different. It's still, what's that?
They're extended family.
To a point, yeah, they're also different nationalities because I believe he is Tongan. But it's still,
You know what? My brother,
area.
we're different nationalities.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything like that.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
Yeah, I know. Jacob Fatu, though, like I said, he's Umaga. He is Umaga reincarnated.
Damn right he is.
And I think he actually moves better than Umaga.
Oh yeah, dude. He's way quicker.
Yeah. So Jacob Fatu is your new United States champion. Moving on to our next match. So I guess during the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which I think I heard that Carmelo Hayes won.
I didn't hear how that went going at all. I didn't watch.
Yeah, I didn't watch SmackDown. I was busy with the podcast and cooking. But I believe Carmelo Hayes won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. But during the match, Rey Mysterio got hurt. I don't know if it was legit or if it was work, but he got hurt. So taking his place and was announced right after the AAA sale, taking Rey Mysterio's place on the show was Rey Fenix.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, he came up a little short as he did lose to El Grande Americano, Chad Gable.
Which is bullshit, by the way.
I was fine with it. I knew it was going to happen.
It was funny.
They weren't going to let El Grande Americano lose. He's still a big storyline right now.
Yeah.
Especially with the purchase of AAA. But they let Vikingo get involved.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I thought was cool. And again, one of those things that was going to make the IWC go nuclear.
Yeah.
Because he was there. They loved this guy so much. And now all of a sudden, he's not that good.
Uh-huh.
They loved him so much when he was wrestling Kenny Omega last year. Like to the point where, Rey Mysterio came out and said, "Hey, Vikingo, you got to slow the fuck down, dude. Yep. Some of the shit you're doing is amazing, but you're not going to be wrestling in 10 years if you don't slow down."
Yep.
And the IWC started in on Ray going, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, he's only been wrestling for 30 years. Why would he know what he's talking about?
Oh, yeah, not at all.
Yeah. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just jealous of Vikingo. No, he's trying to help this kid.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, do your crazy shit, but don't do it in front of 30 people. But El Grande Americano defeats Rey Fenix. And actually a decent match, too, on top of that. It was actually a pretty good match.
It was, man. That's the thing about Chad. He's a fucking hell of a wrestler, dude. Like, he really is.
That is not Chad Gable. That is El Grande Americano.
Sorry, El Grande Americano is great.
He is.
Large copy, fantastic.
And they did change his. I believe they did change his hometown from being the Gulf of America to Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Because enough people whined about it.
Actually, it was funny.
People don't take a joke.
They should have left. They've been like, "Fuck you, dude. This is funny."
In our next match, we move on to the WWE Women's Championship match where Tiffany Stratton defeated Charlotte Flair. Right call?
Yep, I called that one.
Right? It was a right call. I'm not one of these people who's going to bash Charlotte and say she's awful. She's she's Hogan. And now Charlotte is a great wrestler. Charlotte deserves everything she's gotten, but this right now, it's Tiffy's time.
I'm not sure I agree that Charlotte deserves everything she's gotten. I think there was a little bit of nepotism in the beginning. Only in the beginning. And I think the name helped her at first. And I probably saw her hurt more of the wrestlers than any other female there for a while.
Oh, Nia did her. Nia did quite a bit.
Nia ended up being worse. Yeah, Nia ended up being worse. But for a bit, Charlotte to me was one of the worst. And other than being, the queen bitch personality, that's all she ever really had going for. I mean, her moves were great. She was a great wrestler, but like her shtick was bullshit. It sucked.
Well, in her defense, though, when Vince was in charge and Kevin Dunn was still in Vince's ear,
yeah,
you only had 3 type of women on the roster: the hugging Baileys, the slutty ones, or the complete bitches.
But true. But after he went away, she had a chance to redefine her character, and she's never did.
I would say if my last name's Flair, I'm gonna act like Ric Flair.
Yeah, I mean, she's basically female Flair is about as much as I got from her.
If Reed unfortunately didn't pass away as early as he did, he would have been in WWE eventually.
Oh yeah,
because
that's true.
Way more talented than David.
Mm-hmm.
But Reed would have been a Flair. He would have been Ric Flair. That simple. He would have been the limousine riding, jet flying, wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing son of a gun.
And possibly unpopular opinion, I've never liked Flair. So that's probably part of it for me.
I've always loved. I grew up with Ric Flair. I grew up with
WC. I mean, I did too. I just
my first live match though. My first live main event was Dusty and Flair. So he's got a special place in my heart. Unfortunately,
that makes sense. I just never really cared much about Flair, man. Even the 4 Horsemen, I liked everyone but Flair.
See, I've always loved the Horsemen. Ole is a joke. Ole is a joke now that I know about a lot of the backstage stuff. So I think Ole Anderson was a joke, but
yeah,
the Horsemen. But moving on to our main event of WrestleMania Saturday, Seth Rollins defeats Roman Reigns and CM Punk after one of the most shocking things that happened in WrestleMania weekend. Paul Heyman turns on CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
Dude, to me, this was the biggest managerial shock surprise since the Boiler Room Brawl where Paul Bearer went to Mankind.
Yes.
This was like that level of shock inside me going, what the fuck, and eating it up.
Oh, yeah, no, I loved it. Like, I didn't see, I saw CM Punk coming, in all honesty. But I didn't, after that, I looked at, because Jennifer watched it the night before. I was watching it Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon in between cleaning the house up, like almost as background noise, sitting there going through some of my sales items to see what needed to be listed, what needs to, be thrown into that I've had for way too fucking long and needs to be thrown into a yard sale bin.
Yeah.
I had it on in the background and I watched this match and I was like, once he hit Punk, I looked at Jennifer. I'm like, he's about to turn on Roman, isn't he? And she's like, I don't know.
There was something that Seth had said about how now you owe me a favor, and then they went to that whole thing, and then the night kind of ended on that show, and I had in the back of my head that something was going to happen with involving him. I just did not fucking expect that.
Yeah.
And as a writer, I'm really good at calling storylines, like really good at it, man. But like that one, the first one in a while that actually hit me like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But that's your card for WrestleMania Night 1. we've been going for about an hour now, so why don't we go ahead and take our ad break real quick, pay some bills. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes with Night 2 and some other things that may have happened. I know, Raz, I'm going to talk a little bit about some indie stuff that happened. I know you don't follow the indie stuff too closely, but
It's true.
it's some stuff that I think you'll enjoy. You'll know about and you'll enjoy too. So give us about 3 minutes. We'll be right back. We're going to pay some bills.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite seems trying to say is that on Retro Redoctopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Your King Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Redoctopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
And we're back. Welcome everybody back to the Hardcore Heels Wrestling Show. I gotta stop calling it a podcast. We are back. I'm your host, Sewardweller, joined by Raz T. Slasher, and I got something that just dropped a couple of hours ago. Some wrestling fans might already know this, but the ratings for this week have dropped.
Oh.
WWE NXT on Tuesday night got 686,000 viewers with a 0.17 in the demo.
Nice.
The demo, of course, being that target audience that wrestling companies want, the 18 to 49s.
Mm-hmm.
I am almost out of that demo. AEW Dynamite from last night, 521,000 viewers, 0.14 in the 18 to 49 demo. So not only did AEW lose in the ratings, they have lost again in the demo.
Yeah, big time.
But now how many people are going to come out with that? Well, they got another 500 to 600,000 people watching on Max. Prove it. You got to prove it.
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. You know, if you can prove it, I will get down and I will admit I'm wrong. I don't see them getting 500 to 600,000 people watching on Max. I just
Oh,
don't.
no.
You know, I will admit when I'm wrong, but I'm sorry, I don't believe that at all.
Here's the thing, though. Doing it on Max is a bad move. Max is expensive as fuck, even with their ad version. And
Yeah.
even with the rate hike for Netflix is still cheaper.
Well, the thing on top of that, too, what the hell is there to watch on Max?
They go through cycles where they have good stuff, and once you've seen it all, it's like another 6 months before they put anything on there that's worth seeing again.
That's the thing about Netflix. I wouldn't have Netflix right now if it wasn't for WWE and putting Raw on there because Netflix ain't got nothing to watch right now.
See, they cycle stuff in and out a lot more, and there is a lot of stuff that I find myself going back to at least put on in the background, or things that I do watch on there. Like there's shows I watch on there too. More
See,
often than not, anyway.
I'm more the. Of course, I got my Tubi. You know.
Oh yeah,
I got Tubi. I've got Folsom. I've got the Found TV that you put me on to.
Oh yeah, I still subscribe to that shit.
And Cranked Up is a new one that they were giving out free T-shirts for a movie they had just made called Wormtown, about killer earthworms.
I'm gonna have to check that out, dude. That sounds right up my alley.
I don't think they put it out yet. They were doing a screening, but the problem is they were doing the screening at the same time Corey Taylor was going to be performing at the party.
Oh.
So I was like, I think you guys are great, but you picked the wrong fucking time.
Worst time.
You know, you got Corey Taylor from Slipknot and was it Audio Slave?
Yep.
Doing an acoustic set for free. People ain't going to go see a movie when Corey Taylor's playing for free.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
But they were giving out free weeks, and I tried it out, and it's a lot of independent movies. Like there's a bunch of movies on.
I'm gonna have to check that out though for real. That sounds like that network sounds like something I like.
And it's great, dude. I haven't got a chance to watch anything on there, but I got a bunch of stuff in my queue.
Send me a link to that, man. I'll check it out.
I got you. Trauma Now. I don't have Trauma Now right. I don't have Trauma right now, unfortunately. But Trauma Now is another one I had signed up for a while.
That's a decent one, but again, once you've watched it.
And I think I got Paramount just because I want to finish watching Yellowstone. Actually, I did get into Yellowstone. I'm a sucker for westerns.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know Michelle likes it a lot. I haven't gotten into it yet.
It's good.
Honestly, my buddy, we share services with a buddy of mine. He's one that plays for Paramount.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those, especially when I'm not going to talk about that because it's my last job. But Yellowstone is actually it's interesting. It's good. It is good.
It's like a modern Dallas in a lot of ways.
Kind of with a lot more violence.
Yeah.
A lot more violence, a lot more cussing, a lot more nudity. But it's good in the story, especially how I know, because I already know how it ends. It's very good. It's very, very good. I'm watching that. I'm watching Tulsa King right now. I'm still on the second season of that. I'm not a binge watcher. Like Jennifer will sit and watch a whole show in a weekend.
Oh, I'm like that. Me and Michelle are like that sometimes.
I can't.
With, Ghost. The American version of Ghost. That show is hilarious. We love it. And I finally got her to sit down and watch Yellow Jackets because season 3 just finished. I haven't watched it yet. And I do the first episode in, she was already almost as hooked as I was. And now, like, she's in there watching season 1 because I've seen that one like 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't start season 2 without me because I've only seen that once before. And there's some details I need to catch up on going into 3.
Well, like, you know, with NCIS, Jennifer got me into watching NCIS, and she could sit there and like binge every season in a row. I can't, you know. After a few episodes, I'm like, okay, I need to take a break from this and do something else.
I was like, that was Supernatural and got Michelle into that. Then I got her into Doctor Who. Then there's a couple things that I got her into that I can still sit down and watch a lot of, but she overdone me.
I tried Doctor Who with Jennifer, and she wasn't going for it. So Doctor Who's one of the ones I watch it by myself. I started watching what is I can't remember which one it is. The one where Superman has kids now. I think it's Superman and Lois or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Where Superman has kids.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one at all.
I watched the first episode of that, and it was actually really interesting.
We started canceling.
Yeah, probably. The Superman,
No,
it ain't gonna last. I can see that because there's so much going on
well,
that it's really.
they
Go
ended
ahead.
all of the shows on CW. They ended all of them. They're all done now
I can believe that. Yeah.
to make way
Well,
for
that
all the new shit.
I was about to say, yeah, because I know they got rid of because that's the thing that I think is that's the big thing with the DC movies coming out is there are people in that Zack Snyder camp that are just hardcore. I'm not gonna watch anything else. Well, I'm gonna watch these because to me, the Zack Snyder shit sucked.
Honestly, yeah, it
I,
did.
I didn't like. I tried watching. I couldn't do it. The amount of CGI on my screen kind of takes me out of the fucking movie. I'm sorry.
I'm heavily known for being an anti-Superman guy, with the exception of Smallville, which I loved. I've just never liked Superman, and even I want to see the new Superman movie. Even I'm excited for it. I don't even like
Yeah.
Superman.
I'm interested to see who they're gonna get to play Batman. They got
Yep.
another Batman,
And my God, I hope they do end up going with Jensen Ackles.
Who was that?
Jensen Ackles plays Dean on Supernatural.
Okay, yeah, I didn't. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch Supernatural.
Oh,
Never
buddy,
got it.
you gotta watch it.
Never got in. I don't know why I never got into it. Never. It's one of those things like when X Files was on. I never got into X Files,
Oh,
and it's just I don't. I'm not a big sci-fi person though. In all honesty,
well,
I've never.
Supernatural's not sci-fi though, man.
No, I know it isn't. But I couldn't.
Did you watch Buffy?
I did watch Buffy, yes, for the most part. I didn't watch
what
all
about
the
its
episodes.
predecessor, Kolchak, Night Hunter?
No,
Well,
I'm
then
not gonna lie. Here's the thing about me.
in the day, like 70s, went to Buffy. Like Buffy wouldn't exist without Kolchak, and Supernatural would not exist without Buffy. It's that kind of show with a group of people, like over time. But it's the writing in that show is brilliant. There's a couple of bad, there's a couple of shit seasons in Supernatural, but overall, the
It always
storytelling, the
is.
world they build is fucking. It was good enough to have an RPG, and even the RPG is good. The tabletop game.
I can tell you right now, I'd probably be more into watching it now than I would have been in the 90s, the
Hmm.
early 2000s. Because I'll tell you right now, there's a reason I didn't watch a lot of TV shows back then. I fucking hate commercials. I will pay the extra money to not have fucking commercials.
Yeah, I went to
can't.
broadcasting school, so I actually like commercials, and I bitch about whether they're well done or not, and whether I could have done it better, and how I would have done it better.
I can't stand them. I hate watching commercials. And it's not, something like ours, which is only 3 minutes, in the middle of a show.
Yeah.
But I want to, if I'm watching, I want to watch more than 7 minutes of a show before you go to the fucking commercials again.
They have gone. The streaming services have gone crazier than they needed to go with the ads. Honestly, I'm poor, so I have all the ads versions, and Hulu's still the worst of all of them by far.
Yes, we have a free version of Hulu right now, and yeah, it's YouTube's getting pretty bad too, though, because YouTube will sit there. I pay for. I'm not gonna lie, I pay for YouTube Premium because
I do on and off depending on what I'm into.
I want if I'm watching a video, especially because I watch a lot of those GTA roleplay videos.
Yeah,
because they make me laugh, and that Jennifer. Her big thing is she likes watching the arcade videos, the people with the coin pushers and the.
Me too. I watch a lot of those.
Dude, she loves.
I bet you watch a lot of the same ones.
Probably because she watches all of them, and I watch like I said GTA roleplay videos. I'll watch some sports stuff and that, and I watch. There's a group from New Zealand called Viva La Dirt League that put out like
favorite. You know that.
What's that?
You heard me walking around going, "Hello, adventure! Welcome to my deck." I fucking love Viva La Dirt.
If you guys haven't gone to see Viva La Dirt League, go check them out. If you're a gamer, because they're fucking hilarious. I will try to watch.
They have the survival ones now. They've got the the best knockoff show.
They have I guess their Patreon like really went well, and their fundraisings and that they have much better way bigger budget.
Oh yeah.
So you've got your Epic NPC man, which is supposed to be like World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls, and things like that. They did a live action version of D&D.
Yes.
Plus they actually have another separate channel where it's the four guys will play D&D, and then there's a group of girls that'll play D&D.
Yeah.
Live on the show, and then they'll act out like the they'll act out the fighting and what's going on in that, and it keeps the humor going.
The
They
pooping
have
episode.
a PUBG one, and then they have one called Bored, which is working in a computer store.
Yep, and that was hilarious too. I just
Yes.
saw again the pooping episode. Like, oh my god, we've been doing this campaign for months. Has anybody pooped? And then he was like, "Are you serious? All right, roll Constitution."
Yes.
Anybody else want to poop? No, we're good.
So, all right, we've been back for like 15 minutes, and we've been talking about everything else but wrestling
Wow.
again. But again, we're nerds. Deal with it. So we're going to move on to night 2 of WrestleMania, which to me, I'm sorry, it was the better night.
Yeah.
It was the better night. So
Other than
Stephanie
the
McMahon.
opener closer, I mean, the opener and closer night 1 was just fucking brilliant.
Yes. Although I think the opener to night 2 stole the whole weekend.
It was really damn good, dude.
So Stephanie McMahon comes off, kicks off the WrestleMania, which I'll give it to him that I'm fine with it, because what is WrestleMania without a McMahon?
And if they had to pick one of Steph, it could have been worse.
Yes. So we start out with our first match, the Triple Threat Women's World Championship match. Io Sky defeats Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley in, again, the match of the weekend.
And reminds everyone why she's in the picture and deserves to be there.
Yes, it's the right choice. This is one of those ones I called it a toss-up, and but I still chose Io.
I always go Io. I love Rhea, but like, and I love fucking Bianca too. I'm a big fan of hers, but dude, Io, that's my girl.
And I think that's what I said last week, is that I think Io was going to win, but if I had to choose anybody else, it would be Bianca. It would have been between her and Bianca.
Yeah.
Because Bianca hasn't had a singles title in over a year.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years, actually.
And they kind of did her dirty a little bit.
I mean, I would have to disagree, because there's more people out there.
No, but
and
the tag teamy thing they did with her that fell apart, and the whole. I didn't care for the storyline, the whole storyline they did with Jade and Naomi to begin with. I thought it was tired.
It was she, but there was reasons for it. Is because they wanted Bianca to work with Jade and try to help her, and because you have one very strong, powerful woman, because Bianca is actually very strong. Helping another bodybuilder type, I get why they did it. Now, I wish they could find a way to put a title on Bianca.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to take that title off of Tiffany anytime soon.
Oh, no. She's going to have it for a while. Everybody who got those women's titles, they're going to have them for a bit.
And even if worst comes to worst, maybe Bianca's going to take a break or something, because that's something else that needs to happen sometimes, is people need to go away for a month or two, let people miss you, and then come back.
Right.
And I think that's one of the reasons why Roman got so over all of a sudden, is because he was being forced down our throats for so long. He goes away, comes back after his leukemia, comes back after COVID, and now all of a sudden he's the biggest fucking star in the company.
Mm-hmm.
And even the fans are cheering for him.
Oh, yeah.
But what a match. Io Sky wins almost the same way she won the title, in all honesty.
Yeah.
And I believe, did she pin? Was it Rhea or was it Bianca that got pinned? I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Well, I can't remember right now either, dude.
But Io wins, keeps the title. Her first, actually, I believe this will actually be Io Sky's first WrestleMania victory as well.
Yeah. I was just so excited it was happening. I didn't care who she was pinning. I think that was my issue.
Yeah, Io was the right choice, in my opinion, on that one.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next match. To me, this would have been a throwaway match, but it got Drew and Damian on the card.
Yeah.
In a Sin City Street fight, Drew McIntyre defeated Damian Priest. It was actually pretty good. The match was okay. It wasn't, it was a brawl.
On that one. I was wrong on that one.
Yeah. It was two big sons of bitches beating the shit out of each other.
But I did learn something about Damian during that match.
What's that?
He likes turtles.
He does.
On one of his butt cheeks, he has a thing of a turtle, and I found out him and his wife actually own 5 turtles.
Nice.
I was like, yeah, I love this guy, but now I love him even more. I'm just tired of fucking Drew right now. I'm just kind of tired of him right now.
Gosh, I think he's on the run of his career right now.
I think he was, and now it's floundering a little bit.
Well, they got to put him back in the main title picture.
Eventually,
but the problem is there's not going to be any fucking titles on SmackDown for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Jacob Fatu Drew McIntyre program.
Yeah, that would be good.
But it was violent. There was a lot of tables involved. Now, our next match, I can't believe I called this one. The Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio defeats Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, Penta in another damn good match.
I had Braun for that, but Michelle had it right.
With the crowd clearly backing Dominic Mysterio.
Which was surprising as fuck. It was beautiful.
Yes, I was, and it got me cheering for him. I like Dominic anyway. I think he does a great job.
I didn't know I needed that to happen until I saw it.
Nobody did. Nobody realized it, and then it happened, and you're like, holy shit, this is actually pretty fucking awesome.
Yep.
And on top of that, the crowd cheering for it. And it happened in a great way where, Balor hits the sling blade on Braun, hits the double stomp, goes to pin him, and Dominic comes off with the frog splash, immediately covers Finn, and gets the win.
Yep. And let me tell you, man, I'm interested to see if they're going to let him talk on the microphone on Friday or not.
Who's that?
Dom.
Dom's on Raw.
Oh, shit, you're right. I was thinking he was SmackDown. I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, I think he came out. I think he came out on Raw. I can't remember if he did. He at least came out with Liv and Raquel.
Yeah, he did. I don't think he made a big thing, though. He didn't, talk or anything. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Nah, they got it, because they're probably going to do... They got it. Again, that breakup story's coming.
Oh, dude. Yeah, the whole faction breakup story's coming.
Yeah, because, for those who didn't know, JD McDonough came back on Monday. Actually, Dom wrestled. He wrestled Penta.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yes, he did.
And JD McDonough came out and helped Dominic beat Penta. And apparently nobody fucking told Finn Balor that JD McDonough was coming back.
Yep.
Because Finn Balor looked a little pissed on Monday.
Well, yeah, because he wanted fucking Dom to lose.
Well, not only that, he just, nobody told him that JD McDonough was coming back, so it's like they're leaving him out of the picture.
I mean, he's been left out of the picture for a while now.
Yes.
It's because he's taking himself out of the picture.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing him try to go after him and Jay have a program now.
That would be good. That could be really good.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to care about Finn until he brings the demon back, so.
Yes. But Dominic wins the match. So we move on to our next match. And to me, one of the biggest pops of the night. Randy Orton.
I laughed so hard I was in tears.
Versus his mystery opponent. I made a weird sound when it happened. Say his name and he appears. Randy Orton versus Joe Hendry. TNA World Champion Joe Hendry. Now, if you listen to the IWC, he was buried. I disagree. Because Randy Orton won the match.
It wasn't a match.
No, it was literally, hey, let's put Joe Hendry on the card. Hey, guess what? Now Randy Orton has his opponent for his 20th anniversary of WrestleMania match.
And does the best framed RKO in history, though.
Yes. But that fucking pop when Joe Hendry came out.
Yeah, that was insane, dude.
We'll tell, but everybody wants to ask, well, what does WWE do for TNA? Guess what? That
was huge.
63,000 people just lost their fucking mind for the world champion of another company.
Yeah.
Millions of people watching at home are now sitting there going, oh, what the hell is TNA doing right now?
I gotta be honest with you, as great as that RKO was, as perfect as it fucking was, the turnaround moment for fucking Orton right after mocking Hendry.
When he does the pose.
That was the moment, dude.
Yes. You know, somebody took that and a couple other images from, or I guess videos from WrestleMania have put it to the theme from Full House.
That's fucking
Or
funny.
Family Man. I think it was Family Matters, actually. I think it's the Family Matters theme. And it works, like him doing the RKO and the pan in. It worked. It worked. But yes, it was one of my favorite moments too, because it was a shock. I didn't expect Joe Henry.
No, I didn't know what to expect when it wasn't Joe Hendry.
No. But 63,000 people just saw the TNA World Champion on WrestleMania, wrestling one of the biggest legends in the company right now.
And then there's the fallout too, which is going to put TNA back on the map a little more.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the Dudley Hardys.
I don't think the Dudleys are wrestling anymore, though.
Oh,
at least Devon isn't.
Did you not hear? Yeah,
No.
I may now know something you don't know, sir. It started on social media as kind of a thing where oh my god, Bubba had made a comment about, he was basically, talking about, a bunch of old matches and stuff, and he kind of issued this like soft kind of a half joke challenge to the Hardys, and they accepted, and he commented on it and said, all right, name the time, name the place, me and Devon will be there, and Devon backed it up.
Nice.
Now there's also rumors that that's not enough for both tag teams, because they're never going to know who the best is until Christian and Edge get involved too. So now, that's what I think too. But there's a big push.
That ain't gonna happen. Edge and Christian. I'm sorry, Cope. He is now Cope.
Yeah, with the hate.
Fucking Cope and Christian are too busy bleeding Dixie Con dry. They're cashing those fucking checks right now. But
I feel like
that'd be a money match.
I think Copeland would want the challenge though. To really truly retire from their careers, I don't think they can do that until that answer is finally given.
Yeah, but the thing is, like I said, until Christian and Cope or Edge are not under contract to AEW, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
They wouldn't even let fucking Sting come out to induct Lex Luger.
Which is fucking... that makes me mad.
I mean, I get it. You don't want... I get it. I'm not going to fault him for it, but at the same time, you claim to love wrestling history so much, which, I mean, you're repeating fucking wrestling history by bringing in Master P, by the way.
Yeah.
Somebody who's not been relevant in 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
Remember the last time anybody brought Master P into a company?
Yeah. Yeah.
But moving on to our next match, Logan Paul defeats AJ Styles.
That was a sad match.
It was a good wrestling match, but I mean, nobody really wanted to see Logan Paul win.
Yeah.
I thought one of the funniest things coming out of WrestleMania weekend was that they set up, that those boxing things, arcade machines where you punch it and it tells you how hard you hit.
Yeah.
Apparently at WrestleMania World, they set up one of those, except you could hit a Logan Paul dummy with a chair. And it told you how strong. And they have video of Logan Paul's mother doing it.
Oh, she's been doing that his whole life.
Possibly. Although, with all the money he's probably given her, she can forgive him for a lot of stuff.
No, I have a problem of supporting a wrestler no matter how good they are if they're a human piece of garbage in real life. I can't do it.
And I think a lot of people are, but you can't really sit and go, yeah, but he's bad at wrestling. He's not bad at wrestling.
He's not bad at wrestling, but he's actually pretty damn good at wrestling.
Yes.
I just don't give a shit. Ever since the Suicide Force thing, dude, I just cannot respect him in any way or anything he does. No matter how good or bad he is, I just can't do it.
But at the end of the match, Killer Cross came out, tried to get AJ Styles to use the knuckles. AJ told him to go fuck himself, and that caused the distraction that allowed Logan Paul to hit his finisher and win the match.
Like I say, Karrion Kross has been growing on me so hardcore lately.
Watch his social media. That's what you got to watch with Karrion Kross.
Okay. I haven't seen any. I don't pay attention to anyone, even my own social media most of the time. I have to
Watch
start doing
his stuff. Yeah, watch his stuff on Twitter. You're gonna get a whole new version of Killer Kross.
Fucking hell yeah.
But moving on to the WWE Women's Tag Team title match. Lyra Valkyria and her mystery partner defeat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to become the new Women's Tag Team Champions, and Lyra Valkyria becomes Lyra 2 belts. And what did you think of her mystery partner, of course, being Becky Lynch?
I loved it. It was time for Becky to come back, man. It really was.
A lot of people disagree with you.
Well, a lot of people are wrong.
I mean, I was okay with it. I had a feeling it was going to be Becky, but people are mad because Bayley got kicked off of WrestleMania for this shit.
Dude, come on. A full-on Irish tag team? That was pretty brilliant.
I mean, what do you they've been bitching. They've been bitching and bitching and bitching all week about who's not on. Dragon Lee's not on. Carmelo Hayes isn't on. You know, this person's not on. It's a shame that this person's not. Fuck you. Not everybody can be on.
Yep.
You know, I'm sorry. This is an AEW with 5-hour fucking pay-per-views.
Yep.
But Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch win the Women's Tag Team Championship from Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and then lose them the next fucking night. And Becky turns heel.
Yep. Which I got something to say about that, but I can't until we discuss the last match.
Yeah, we'll get there. After that, one of the funniest moments of the night, Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out to reveal the attendance for the night, and as he's leaving, loses control of his four-wheeler, runs into the guardrail, and we see the biggest flop job since LeBron James.
Yes.
That woman flopped so hard.
After the giant pause of her standing there and everyone watching her.
Yes, she flopped. I mean, she's going to get some tickets. She'll get some merch or something. They're not going to pay her, of course, but she oversold that by a lot.
Yeah, maybe they'll offer a job.
Yeah. And I take it back. I think it was as he was still entering the ring, because Nick went over.
Way to the ring, yeah.
Nick Khan went over and tried to smooth the situation over, and apparently she was pissed. A lot of people said she was pissed.
Well, he flipped up twice, because the first time when he was first coming out, he hit the wrong ramp and went down low stage, and then had to turn himself around and then go up, and then he ran into shit because he was drunk as fuck.
It's Steve Austin. He has to be drunk.
Yeah, he doesn't work otherwise.
It's like his fucking gimmick. But I thought it was funny. I watched, because even watching it, me and Jennifer looked at each other and were like, "That bitch just flopped."
Dude, I haven't seen a flop like that since the Faith No More epic video, and with the piano exploding in the background and that fish just flopping like a bitch on the ground.
I haven't seen a flop like that since LeBron James in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And after that, we move on to our main event of the entire weekend, and the biggest fucking letdown. John Cena defeats Cody Rhodes to win the undisputed WWE Championship match with the help of Travis Scott. Fucking why?
Yeah. That was the most lackluster match I have seen on a pay-per-view in quite some time, unfortunately. I like Cena won. Cool. I don't even like Cena as a person. He's cool. As a wrestler, I've just never been a Cena fan. Cody, I like Cody, but I'm not a huge Cody fan, so I was kind of good either way. You know, I was interested. It's just the way the whole match was. It was a drawn out.
You start this great feud in Elimination Chamber in a hot way.
Yeah.
They cut really good promos on each other.
They did.
You know.
Build up.
Yeah, it was great build up. Great build. It was just them talking and hitting a couple. I think Cody Rhodes hit him with a couple of crossroads.
Yeah.
I knew the match wasn't going to be great because it is John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena's not the greatest wrestler.
He's not.
But I think what everybody was excited for was the shenanigans at the end, because they thought I think a lot of people got it built up in their heads that we were going to get shenanigans on the level of last year.
Yeah, we thought The Rock was going to come out. We thought if The Rock came out, Stone Cold was going to come back. There were so many different variations of this and so many different. It was just over. That was good. Bye.
Yeah, no, it's like no, you get Travis Scott.
You finished night one the way you did,
mm-hmm.
and then did that for night two. Should not have been backwards.
Now, there's been a lot of speculation, of course, that The Rock had a lot to do with that. That this was almost like his revenge or his get back, I guess, at Triple H for ruining the main event last year, which was apparently really supposed to be Rock and Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Which everybody wants to see Rock and Roman Reigns. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But you know what everybody wanted to see more? Everybody wanted to see Cody win the belt last year.
Yep.
And it was epic and it was great.
It was. It was well done.
And if that is the case, that he really did, essentially fuck over WrestleMania 41 for petty, egotistical bullshit like that. That's going to be the end of Rock. I got a feeling that not only does that kill his wrestling stuff, it'll kill his movies.
Yeah.
Not that his movies have been making that much money lately anyways.
In a while. Although I am sad that Jungle Cruise didn't go better than it did, because I actually really liked that one.
Yeah, it was okay.
I love the ride too. It's like my favorite thing. That and Haunted Mansion are one of my favorite fucking things.
I'd say Haunted Mansion. I haven't seen the remake of Haunted Mansion yet either, but
it was decent.
I still like the Eddie Murphy version.
For a flat out family comedy, yeah, it was great. For a little bit closer to what the ride really is, the new movie was a lot more faithful. However, I wanted the Guillermo del Toro version that was going to get made before it. That one would have been brilliant.
It would have looked amazing, but that is not going to be a family friendly movie.
No, but that's what was supposed to happen. It's supposed to be a serious horror version of it, and they got into production and everything just kind of fell apart.
It's Disney for you, though.
That's okay. He's bringing back Hellboy.
Good. Very good. But that ended WrestleMania. Thoughts on the whole weekend?
So, Becky.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be the first Paul Heyman man.
And I see it. I can see it happening. I'm against it, but I can see it.
I wouldn't mind having a Heyman stable for a little bit.
No. I want a Heyman stable. That I want a dangerous alliance again.
But I think we've proved with what Judgment Day should have been and could have been. You got to have a female or two in the stable.
I agree. You need a female. I don't agree with Becky.
I just think it'd be nice for her and Seth to be able to actually work together for a little bit.
And that's the thing, is it's predictable.
Yeah.
I think you go to NXT and you pull up Jada Parker.
You could, but what after what happened Monday, I'm leaning even more towards it.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Is this likely? That's likely what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I want them. If it was me, I'm pulling up a Jada Parker, or I'm pulling up a. Trying to think of another monster woman down there. Delta, I can't remember what she's. Zarya, I think she's calling herself down there.
Okay.
Someone like that up to the main roster. To be that, because you want a monster who you've already got your enforcer. You've got your Braun Breaker. Yeah. And that's the other thing about that stable too, is I'm kind of getting annoyed with, is people keep trying to compare it to Evolution.
That's what Matt did. I'm like, dude, no, this is not going to be Evolution.
But because people are like, yeah, look, Seth Rollins is the Triple H, Braun Breaker's the Batista, Paul Heyman's the Ric Flair. No. Ric Flair wasn't allowed to talk back then.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let him talk, and on top of that, Ric Flair was still wrestling. Paul Heyman can't wrestle.
Nope.
Paul Heyman can take a fucking shot.
That's about it.
Yeah, he can take a good bump and he can take a shot, but he can't wrestle.
Yeah.
You got your veteran, you got the guy whose time is quote unquote now.
Yeah.
You got your future, which is Braun Breaker is the future of the business. He's going to be the biggest. He's your Roman Reigns in 10 years.
Oh yeah.
In 5 years, in all honesty. They probably need at least one or two more, maybe a tag team or something.
We gotta have a tag. You gotta have a tag.
And I do agree they need a woman, because Dangerous Alliance had Medusa, even though they didn't have women's wrestling back in 1992.
But also, we have women's tag belts now.
We have women's tag belts. We have women's singles belt. We have all kinds of women's single belt in that.
Right, way more than ever before.
But the thing about it is Jada Parker doesn't fit with Becky. That's the only thing about that. Jada is anyway. I mean, I'm not even saying they're going to bring Jada up.
Right.
But she's the one I would choose because she's big, she's strong, and she's tough. And I think her and Braun would basically be just you're two fucking monsters. It's like, man or woman, you're not going to fuck with the stable with Braun Breaker and Jada Parker.
After her current level of breakdown, I could almost even see Rhea and Becky doing something together.
Yeah. I don't think you want to turn Rhea heel, though. She's still way too over.
Yeah, but she's doing some heel-ass shit lately.
Yeah, but if you look at the match, though, Bianca was the heel. They're booing Bianca left and right.
That's true.
So it could be Bianca. But Bianca's big. Bianca's strong.
That could be good, man.
Bring up Jordynne Grace.
That would be be fucking nice.
We forget that Jordynne Grace is there, and Jordan, that actually would fit too because Jordynne Grace has Scott Steiner's seal of approval.
Oh yeah, that would actually
Braun
be
Breaker, because I think what do they call her? Big Mama Pump.
Yeah, Big Mama Pump. I think that would actually be fucking brutal for her and Becky.
And Jordan can do heel.
Yeah.
Braun, put Braun in. Yeah, they'd be Jordynne Grace or Jada Parker is the two I would pick to bring up from NXT. And Jordan's ready. Jordan came ready. Because she's been on TV for like 5 years.
Oh yeah.
And she's that big, strong monster heel you're gonna need.
Oh yeah.
So we did have a return though on Monday too. What did you think of Rusev being back?
I've never been a giant Rusev fan. He's always been. He's all right. I've never disliked him, but I've never loved his character. It is nice to see though after everything happened and after how he was removed from the company, it was nice to see him come back after all that.
I wish I would have done it. I wish I would have done it in a tag team. In a tag team confrontation.
It felt very oddly placed.
Yeah. And of course, I wish they would do more with. I wish they'd give more to Otis and Tozawa. But with him squashing him, with the likely, I think they've actually announced that they did re-sign Lana as well.
Yeah.
Because those two have patched things up and they are back together.
Yeah, but she can't wrestle her way out of a paper bag.
Yeah, but neither can what's her name?
Maurice.
No, not Maurice.
I don't think I'm wrong about Maurice then.
I'm trying to remember who manages Alpha Academy. God, I can't remember her name.
Oh yeah, well she really doesn't wrestle at all. She's
no, but you put Lana in there with her, because Lana wanted to wrestle.
Yeah, they tried.
But it's going to be good to see them back. And then on top of that, tomorrow night, that I believe that that mysterious video they keep showing on SmackDown is Aleister Black.
That's what I think too.
So it's going to be great to see him back as well, especially on SmackDown with his wife. And I've met him a couple of times at Rockstar, and he's literally the nicest guy in the fucking world. Like for him being, and he is a Satan worshiper. He's not atheist. He is a Satan worshiper. He worships the Church of Satan. And guys, let me tell you something. All these rumors and all this shit you hear about Satan worshipers are not true.
We actually have a couple at our hunt that are the nicest people I've ever met in my whole fucking life, who would literally be there for you anytime, day or night, dude.
Well, if you actually pay attention to what the Church of Satan preaches.
Well, there's two. There's two different sects. The most popular is LeVay Satanism. That's
Anton LeVay.
Yeah. That's the one that you'll literally meet the best people you've ever met in your life.
Yeah, because the thing about it is the Anton LaVey ones, they literally go by what the Bible says. They actually practice what the Bible says versus what the Christian church, you know.
And
I'm not going to get into all that, you know.
Yeah.
But he's, like I said, the nicest freaking guy in the world.
Okay.
I've got a picture of him when he was. Well, I used to have a picture. I lost my phone that had it. But of him actually holding Dylan when he was younger.
Hell yeah.
At one of the wrestling shows, and he's just, like I said,
And he
the
didn't even
nicest.
sacrifice him. See?
Yeah, he didn't sacrifice. No, I also got a picture of Dylan being held by another guy that was coming down from New York. That the guy that David Starr, right, the guy that pushed David Starr and told you you're an idiot if you didn't like him. He got Rockstar to bring these guys down from New York. Well, it turns out the guy holding him was got arrested for having kitty porn.
All right.
And I looked at the guy and said, dude, you let he held my kid.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I like Rusev. I think Rusev being back is a positive thing. Like I said, I don't like the way he came. I wish they would have done it in singles or something.
Yeah.
I would come out and beat him. You know, put a shit match on or something like that. I could just a throwaway match on it. Have him just come out and beat the shit out of both guys in the ring.
Oh yeah.
You know, but it is what it is. Let me bring up the Monday night Raw results to see if we're missing anything. I was drinking Monday night, so
Becky went heel.
Yeah, Becky went heel first match of the night. That's what we forgot too. Was John Cena comes out, tells people, flat out, he's got 27 dates left. Nowhere does it say he has to wrestle those 27 dates. He just has to show up those 27 dates.
Mm-hmm.
And
live shows.
What's that?
He also pointed out not all of them are even live shows.
Yep. And it was funny because at one point the crowd was actually apologizing to John Cena. They were chanting, "We are sorry."
Yeah, we're sorry, Cena. Yeah, and then the whole thing about how he's the last real champion, just going on and on and on. Then fucking Randy Orton, the legend killer himself.
Yes, because what did John Cena call himself? Now that I've won my 17th title, I'm a legend.
Yep, and the second
I shouldn't have done that.
RKO, and he's gonna kill another legend, man.
And it's great because he slithers into the ring and he just stands up, and all you hear is Michael Cole going, "Oh my god!" Cena turns around and just goes, "Shit!" RKO.
Oh yeah. Oh, Gunther attacking Pat McAfee and Cole.
Yes, I'm going through right now. Let's see. We got the heel turn from Becky turned heel on Lyra after they lost the belts back to Raquel and Liv, but I'm okay with that. I think it's rushed because of the heel turn later in the show.
Yeah.
Or the big event later in the show, but I think it's a little rushed, but I'm fine with it. It is what it is. Good, decent match between the four women, the two teams, but it's going to be overshadowed by Becky returning. There's Rusev coming back. Then we get Io Sky comes to the ring, starts talking about her match, and Stephanie Vaquer, the NXT Women's Champion, comes out. And we get one hell of a match for free.
Dude, that was seriously amazing. I'd never seen her wrestle before.
Dude, Stephanie Vaquer is awesome.
I don't watch NXT much at all.
I've really been enjoying NXT. Like the women, especially.
I've got live TV now temporarily.
Mm-hmm. Well, NXT is on regular and digital TV now. It's not on cable or anything. The women's division in NXT is 100% the best in the country or in the world right now. They have the best women's division. And Stephanie Vaquer is the champion, and she's amazing. She had a match with Roxanne last night. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, I'll go back and watch it.
But the match, unfortunately, ends in a disqualification as Roxanne Perez and Julia come in and attack Stephanie Becker and Io Sky, only to be saved by Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, which is interesting. Keeping herself in the title picture.
Yep. So Rhea Ripley comes out, chases off Julia and Roxanne Perez. They talk about NXT the next night, which again, this is a great way to promote NXT as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said last night, Stephanie Becker did pin Roxanne Perez, but Roxanne's supposed to be moving to the main roster at some point. Jey Uso comes out as the champion for his celebration and gets interrupted by Sami Zayn, who everybody thought was about to turn on him. Sami does not turn. Jimmy comes out and everybody celebrates in the ring. It's a good feel-good moment.
You know what?
You know, and it's great they did that. Because again, Jay deserves it.
And that storyline build up, you know, he overcame this his own demon basically, because after a while, Gunther became his personal demon, man.
Yeah. Then we move on to Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. Dominic wins, not the best match in the world, but it was still a good match. Penta climbs to the top rope. JD McDonough appears, knocks him off the rope. Dom hits the frog splash and gets the win. As they're backing up the aisle, again, you see Finn Balor look back like, when was somebody going to tell me that JD was back?
I think we're going to see a turn for Dom here. I think Penta's going to call him out for not being able to take him on his own, and I think this is going to be the one time we actually see Dom want to do that.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be a damn good feud and a good match.
Yeah.
And finally, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman show up. Oh, I'm sorry. They did a quick thing with AJ and
Karrion,
Karrion Kross. Wasn't anything special. I mean, I love Karrion, but I think they need to move him on away from AJ.
They do.
Go ahead.
I'm agreeing with you. They do, but we're still skipping over the Gunther thing.
Oh yeah, Gunther comes out. That was before the Dominic match. That's right.
Yep.
Gunther comes out and is basically yelling at Michael Cole, telling Michael Cole's not being biased, or not being unbiased. That he wanted Jay to win and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually shoves Michael Cole, or Michael Cole or Pat McAfee tries to get between him and Michael Cole. Gunther shoves McAfee, grabs Michael Cole, and puts him in the sleeper hold or the choke hold. Everybody, the reps are trying to get him out of it. Pat McAfee comes over and essentially punches Gunther in the face.
Yeah, knocked him right the fuck out of the move.
Yeah. Pisses Gunther off. Now, go ahead.
It was surprising to me to see it.
I mean, Pat McAfee's a wrestler. He's wrestled. He's been in war games.
True.
So McAfee or Gunther gets pissed. The agents are out there. Gunther breaks through the agents and referees and locks McAfee in the sleeper hold. McAfee's guys jump the rail. The agents are more worried about stopping them from, getting involved than they are about pulling McAfee out of the chokehold.
And they sold that hard. That looked like it was doing some serious damage too.
Oh yeah, because Adam Pearce was out there trying to hold Gunther back, and he pushed Pearce to the ground.
Yep.
And it was just a great segment. I like when they do the unexpected chaos like this.
Dude, yeah, because they followed Pat walking backstage where he couldn't hardly breathe. He fell over a couple times. He was winded, like he just could not hardly talk or breathe.
And yeah,
Coco was like, "Fuck this and fuck all of you. Like you guys need to protect us more." And I refuse to not go back out there.
Yeah. Well, Michael Cole, Pierce says, "Look, I'm sorry this happened. Go ahead and take the rest of the night off." Michael Cole is just like, "Fuck that. I'm not going to be bullied. I've been doing this job for too fucking long. I'm going back out there." He goes back out and gets a Michael Cole chant.
Yep, which was well deserved.
And the rest of the show is called by Michael Cole and Joe Tessitore.
Yep.
Which I'm really digging Joe Tessitore lately too. He's actually been doing a really good job.
He has been.
They call that match, and then we get to the final segment. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman come out. They're talking about what happened at wrestling or at WrestleMania. Punk comes out. Punk and Rollins start fighting. Or Punk gets Rollins down, then turns his attention to Heyman, and then Rollins comes from behind, of course. Roman comes out. He ends up with a spear. He hits a spear on Seth, and then turns around out of nowhere, hits the fucking Superman punch on Heyman.
That was fucking brutal, dude.
And gets in the corner, does his hoo-ah as he's getting ready to spear Heyman. Just as he takes off with a spear, out of nowhere comes somebody in a black hoodie, spears the shit out of Roman.
Oh, yeah.
Takes it off, and it is Braun Breaker. Rollins gets in the ring. Braun Breaker and Rollins face off. Braun takes off and goes past Rollins and spears Punk. Rollins is smiling and hugs Braun. We have a new Dangerous Alliance. They're probably going to call it something else. I will always call it the Dangerous Alliance.
Dude, but what happened outside the ring again to fuck it? He wound up, ran around almost the entire ring.
Well,
hit fucking Romans with that spear so hard, knocked him right through the fucking barricade.
Well, Braun goes outside because Roman's getting up. Rollins tells Braun to take care of him. Reigns hits an uppercut on Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Which reels him back a little bit. Braun looks over, realizes he's in perfect position for the super spear. Braun takes off, runs about 3/4 of the way around the ring at full fucking speed, and spears Reigns through the barrier, more than likely writing Reigns off at least till SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah, dude. He fucking took him out.
And that's how Monday Night Raw goes off the air.
Yeah.
Again, I hope they put a woman in the in there. It'll probably be Becky if they do. I hope it's someone like Jordan Grace or Jada. But it'll likely be Becky.
Again, from a stock perspective, it went down, like I said, after the second night of WrestleMania, because night one, it went up. After night two, stock started going down when they opened on Monday, and then after Monday Night Raw, stock jumped right the fuck back up.
Yeah, that's why Rock came on McAfee the next day.
Yeah.
Couldn't fucking be there for WrestleMania, but he could be there on Tuesday morning for Pat McAfee.
Mm-hmm.
So NXT, they had a show over the weekend too. We'll talk about this real quick because it was actually a really good show. What was it? Stand and Deliver, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a damn good show to start the wrestling on WrestleMania weekend. So the first match of the night was they had a four-way match on the pre-show, four-way women's tag team match to see who would face the WWE tag team champions on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley defeated Fatal Influence, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade, and the Metaphor Girls in a Fatal Four-Way. Go ahead.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said something.
Nope.
Roxanne does walk out of the match on Cora Jade. Yeah, like nobody saw that coming. But Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley pick up the win. They went on to face Liv and Raquel on Tuesday night and did not pick up the win there.
Right.
Damn good match, though. Damn good match. So we start the show with the NXT North American Championship match. Ricky Saints retaining his title over Ethan Page in a very good match. I I assumed you didn't watch because you say you don't
Yeah.
watch NXT that much. During the match, because these are two AEW guys. These are two guys that were not Ethan was actually in TNA before he went to AEW, but these are guys who were part of the AEW original class. Ricky Saints is actually the guy that for almost an entire year, Tony Khan wouldn't book him, but he also wouldn't let him go. He also wouldn't release him. Once they released Ricky Saints or Ricky Starks at the time, literally the next fucking day he was on NXT.
Oh yeah, I knew about that.
He is a prodigy of Cody Rhodes as well. But moving on to the next match, which I think is probably the second best match of the night. Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. Hank and Tank defeated Fraxium to win the NXT Tag Team titles. Now, Fraxium has held these belts for almost a year. Like, they've held them forever. And they faced some great teams like the Rascals. They faced and beat the Hardy Boys in their reign. Some of the best teams that NXT and WWE have to offer. And Hank and Tank, and this match was amazing. A lot of edge of your seat, because you couldn't tell who was going to win. And you could tell the crowd wanted Hank and Tank to win. There was like a moment where Hank did a dive outside of the ring and just landed straight on the fucking table.
Hell yeah.
And was just knocked out there lying down. Fraxium started double teaming Tank. They go for the pin. They hit their finisher on him. They go for the pin, and Hank gets in there just in time. They end up knocking Axiom out and hitting. I can't remember what move they hit on him because their finishing maneuver is Nathan Frazier hits or Axiom hits a Spanish fly on their opponent, and then Frazier will jump off and hit a Phoenix Splash from the other end, and it looks awesome every time they do it. Hank and Tank execute a running power slam shoulder block combo as their finisher to win the match and end the reign of Fraxium.
It's like a big out.
Yeah, these are two big guys too. And the best part about it is they naturally got over. These are two guys that were quote unquote security for NXT, and got the chance. Hank got the first chance to wrestle, and then I really don't know how they got Tank. I wasn't watching at the time when they got Tank in there, but they formed a tag team, and they have that big tough guy, but funny, almost like a Hacksaw Jim Duggan style.
Okay, like the Henrys.
The Henrys.
Oh my God.
You talk about the Godwins.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. The Godwins. Sorry. Yeah, the Godwins.
Kind of, sort of, except they have a lot more energy than the Godwins did.
Okay. I don't know where I got the Henrys. I think Henry Godwin was one of their names.
Yeah, Henry Godwin.
Yeah.
Next, we move on to, again, another damn good match. Was it 6-woman ladder match for the vacant NXT Women's North American Championship. Sol Ruka wins the match. She defeats Thea Hale, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Izzy Dame, and Zarya. Zarya is actually her tag team partner.
Oh, damn.
Now, I don't know if you've seen Sol Ruka or not.
I actually have. I've seen her finishers and shit too, because Matt showed them to me, and I was blown away.
She was hitting that shit off the ladder.
Damn, dude.
It was looking fucking awesome. I wish I could show video of it. But of course, copyrights, we are on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was hitting some shit off of the ladder. Gets everybody down. And pulls the title down to win her first singles title. I think she's actually won the tag titles before. but when they had the NXT tag titles. But this is her first singles title win in WWE. Sol Ruca wins the Women's North American Championship. So now we move on to the big feud. You probably don't know who Dark State is.
I don't.
They kind of started doing a Nexus. I think that was their name, Nexus. Wade Barrett when they did the NXT stuff.
Oh yeah.
They're kind of doing that kind of angle, except there's only 4 of them.
Right.
Where they're just randomly attacking people and shit. They started a feud with the D'Angelo family. The D'Angelo family is basically the mob. Dark State defeats the D'Angelo family after Stax turns on Tony D'Angelo. Stax would be your consigliere, like your second-hand man.
Okay.
To Tony D'Angelo. They've been they won tag team titles together. They've been together for years.
Damn.
And it's a big deal that he turned on D'Angelo. Luca Crucifino tried to approach Stax as he was leaving, and Stax told him that he would send him his location and they would meet later. They ended up meeting Tuesday night in the middle of the desert. Next week on NXT, we actually get the face-off between Tony D'Angelo and Stax. And Tony has Izzy Dame in hiding. I mean, it's straight up out of a mafia movie. Like they did
pay attention to that.
They did a big feud about a year or so ago when Legado del Fantasma was still in NXT, where they had basically was like the Latin mafia versus the Italian mafia. And then we move on to our next match, and again, damn good match. NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Vaquer defended her title against Julia, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker in a fatal 4-way match. Bodies were flying everywhere. That move that Stephanie Vaquer does, that popular move where she gets the girls between her legs and just slams them up and down, onto the ground. I wonder why that's such a popular move.
Yep.
She did it to all 3 of them. And the crowd was going crazy. I swear to God, Booker T may have had an orgasm on commentary.
Did he have one 5 times?
Possibly. It was funny as hell because on Tuesday night when she was doing it to Roxanne, she pointed over at Booker before she did it.
I'm surprised he didn't do the spin-a-rooney right then and there.
Dude, I'm surprised myself. But it was also funny because halfway through her slamming Roxanne Perez's head down, she had to yell at Roxanne to remind her to keep her to stay on her knees because your head was really going to be slamming onto the ground.
Right.
But Stephanie Vaquer retains her title over Julia, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker. And again, a fantastic match. She ends up hitting the SVB on Parker, pins Jada, match over. And finally, we move on to the main event of Stand and Deliver. NXT champion Oba Femi. And if you haven't seen Oba Femi,
I haven't.
Dude, this guy is the real deal.
Hell yeah.
You're talking about a giant Nigerian guy.
Okay.
That can move just like almost like Jacob Fatu.
Oh damn.
This guy is solid fucking muscle. Looks amazing, wrestles amazing. Just the real deal. Oba Femi defeats Trick Williams and Javon Evans in a triple threat match to retain his NXT championship. So Javon Evans is wrestling in a main event on Wrestlemania Weekend at 20 years old.
Yeah.
He is good, but he is very flippy.
Gotcha.
not as bad as AEW does. Which again, a flippy wrestler is not necessarily a bad thing, but when you don't sell,
it's bad.
That's when it becomes bad.
Yeah.
Trick Williams, again, I'm surprised Trick isn't on the main roster yet.
Yeah.
They could easily bring Trick Williams to the main roster and have him team with Carmelo Hayes. Like they did in NXT, and it would work. The storyline with Trick lately is that he's slowly losing his mind because he can't get that one-on-one title match again. Yeah. He is a former 2-time champion, and he's trying for that third one, but Obafemi is in the way. Obafemi, and it was a freaking awesome match. Takes out Javon Evans with a slam through the barricade. Williams hits the Uranagi through the announce table. Puts Obafemi through the announce table. Williams tries to pin Evans, but Femi, and this is funny right here. They actually Trick actually hits the referee as he's trying to count the pin from, I think, can't remember if it was Javon or Obi pinning somebody. He hits the referee, knocks him down. Gets back, all that shit happens. Trick hits his finisher. I think it's the trick shot on Javon. As the referees get ready to climb back in the ring to make the count, Oba grabs him, and the referee literally takes his foot and pushes off Oba like a wrestler would, keeping somebody off of him. I thought it was great. I thought it worked, because these referees got to stop being manhandled like that.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you keep looking at these referees in WWE now, they're built.
Oh, yeah, they are.
But Obafemi hits the power bomb and pins. I want to say he pinned Javon Evans, but he hit both with the fall from grace, which is basically his version of a power bomb, almost like a Batista bomb. But he's a big badass, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Keeping his title. Nothing really came about last night in NXT except Stephanie Becker and Roxanne wrestled in the main event, and of course Stephanie Becker kept her title.
Yeah.
And we got more stuff for next week with the D'Angelo family. We got the stare down between Julia came out after the women's title match, and Jordan Grace came out and did the whole stare down thing with Stephanie Becker.
Nice.
So we're probably gonna get a triple threat match or something in the near future. But yeah, and it was like I said, outside of WrestleMania itself, it was a great weekend.
I've been hearing a lot of rumors about something else. Paige.
She wants to come back. I don't think they want her back. Because the thing is, it still comes down to how was her neck?
Yeah. I mean, it's got to a degree, but I mean, they've given chances before on this.
They have, but she said a lot of shit when she was in AEW, talking shit about WWE and that. But that's not the reason. They'll still bring you back for that.
Yeah, I mean, Punk
Vince was notorious for that. That's like the rumor about why Bobby Heenan never came back to WWF after WCW closed.
Yeah.
Was because if you ever watch WCW stuff, every time Bischoff tried to bash WWE or Tony Schiavone tried to bash WWE or something, Bobby wouldn't have none of it. Like, he wouldn't get involved. He wouldn't say anything because he still respected Vince and Gorilla and everybody still over in WWF.
Yeah.
To the point where I believe I think he's one of the first guys when Bischoff started that shit where he wanted to challenge Vince to a fight.
Yeah.
On pay-per-view when WWE started beating WCW. Heenan's one of the first people with the Bischoff and goes, "Are you out of your fucking mind? He'll fucking come. You don't understand."
Yeah, he will. He'll beat your ass.
He'll come beat your ass.
I don't care what fucking karate you have on.
Yeah, he won't care that it's WCW. He'll fucking come beat your ass.
Yeah.
Needless to say, Vince didn't, thankfully, but because I think it wouldn't have went well for Vince only. I don't think they would have let him in the building personally,
No.
but
I don't think it would have gone good for either company.
no, it wouldn't have been because it would have put more eyes on WCW's product, and it would make WCW look like fools because you guys wanted this guy to come over here and he beat the shit out of your owner or
Yeah.
your boss.
Yep.
But yeah, when it comes to Paige, I don't think they want her back, just because. Again, I question her neck. I question because I know Tony Khan's doctors said it's her neck spine.
Yeah, but you trust it?
I don't know if I trust Tony Khan's doctors, considering one of his doctors at one point was the guy that CM Punk sued.
Yes.
Or who sued CM Punk.
That was a little crazy thing.
Yeah. So that's gonna do it for WWE and stuff like that. Again, the stuff outside of WrestleMania was great. There were still a couple of great matches at WrestleMania, but all in all, it didn't feel like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
Matches, just didn't the placements of things. And had the card have been placed differently, mixed up a little differently, it would have probably been a lot better of a pay-per-view.
The lack of legends.
Yeah.
They did the whole introduction of the Hall of Famers only on night one, and Lex Luger wasn't even fucking there.
I know. I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" At least we let him out.
Dude, he was at WrestleCon.
Yep. Oh, that's
he
right.
went to WrestleCon because WrestleCon was going to pay him more.
That's true.
So you get Austin and Brett for their match, and Brett looked like he wanted to be anywhere else.
Oh yeah, he just give a shit.
But yeah, well, I mean, he's the most miserable fucking person in professional wrestling.
That's true. That is true.
Like every choice he's made was always somebody else's fault.
Yep.
It's Goldberg's fault I can't wrestle anymore. It's Shawn Michaels' fault I had to leave WWF. No, you didn't have to fucking leave WWF, dude. You were the fucking champion. And he's I give Brett credit, that match with Austin at WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
Is what started the Attitude Era.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Michelle McCool was there, and again, I still don't agree with her going in.
Yeah.
If she was going to go in, she should have went as LayCool, not as Michelle McCool by herself, because her entire career revolved around LayCool.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Yeah, like nobody gave a shit about Michelle McCool until LayCool.
Yeah.
The Natural Disasters, perfect fit. I think they were good. I wish it was Demolition.
Yeah.
Which, have you seen those new ringside collectible or those new Mattel Demolition dolls they're releasing?
Dude, those are fucking epic.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Mattel is releasing a Demolition set, and not just Demolition, not just Axe and Smash, but it's Axe, Smash, and Fuji.
What about Crush?
No Crush.
I would have liked to have seen Crush in there.
I think they're trying to do the original because technically Fuji wasn't around with Crush.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So yeah, it's Axe, Smash, and Mr. Fuji. Plus, I don't think Crush's family signed off.
I wouldn't imagine they would.
The Legends contract.
Yeah. Stupid not to.
I mean, a lot of families won't. It took forever to get Randy Savage in the Hall of Fame because what's his name? Lanny Poffo wouldn't sign off on it because according to him, Randy wanted the entire family to go in at the same time. It's like, who's gonna put Lanny fucking Poffo into the fucking Hall of Fame?
No, on a personal level, I love it. I love that man.
Oh, it was great.
He was the first wrestler that I got to meet and have a personal experience with backstage at Arena, and he picked me up and put me on his shoulders while he was throwing frisbees out and took me to the ring with him. And that was the first ever time, dude. I think I was like 4, maybe 5. And that was like such a big thing for me because my uncle through marriage, Fred, he ran the main Spotlight Sahara. My dad ended up doing security at Hera. Then I ended up working at Hera through the WCW and ECW era. Like that was like the start of me, like not just liking wrestling, but like loving wrestling. Was Papa.
Now he does own a victory over Hogan.
Yep.
On Saturday night's main event. Now it's not
He
a
didn't
clean
care as much
victory,
when he became the Genius, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when he became the Genius, though, he was managing Mr. Perfect.
True.
But yeah, he wasn't going to let Randy go in without the whole family because according to him, Randy didn't want to go in unless the whole family went in.
Yeah.
Which Angelo Poffo, Randy Savage, yeah, they both kind of deserve a spot.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big things problems I had to with this year's Legacy wing. Why the fuck is Kamala not getting his own spot?
Yep.
And why is Kamala? Why did we wait for Kamala to die to put him in?
Yep. We didn't need to wait for that.
No, he was a huge part of WWF back in the day.
No, I am glad that H got his spot, his solo spot.
Yes.
Even though he didn't want it. Very clearly did not want it.
Yeah. But like I said, back to Legacy though, real quick. Like, I'm okay with Dory Funk Sr. going in like that because not a huge part of WWF.
Yeah.
His sons were. He wasn't really. Fine. But then we go to Ivan Koloff. Why is this again, why did we wait for him to die, for starters?
Mm-hmm.
This guy ended Bruno Sammartino's record-breaking world title reign.
Yep.
And we're putting him in as a fucking Legacy?
Yep.
Why the hell is this guy not going in full on? Put him in there. Ivan Koloff was a legend. Former WWF World Champion, beat Bruno Sammartino for the belts. And we're putting him in his Legacy after he dies.
It's insulting.
Like, that kind of pissed me off a little bit. The Natural Disasters, I'm okay with them being in there. They were great. They were a legendary tag team. I'd love to see Earthquake go in by himself.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm glad they cut him. They cut Fred Ottman off because I've met Fred at a convention before, and if you don't shut him up, he will fucking talk.
Oh yeah.
Like, he kept trying. It's funny because he's trying to tell me his history of his career and that. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I know. I watched it.
Yeah.
And he started talking. Okay. What was that?
I said, I was there, man.
Yeah, it's like, I was fucking watching. But, he starts talking about the Shockmaster and that. And it's like, dude, yeah, I watched that too.
We try to forget. Please don't bring it up.
Yeah. That didn't go any fucking where.
No.
But, so indie-wise, they had a big weekend out there. A lot of Japanese wrestling at the Collective this year because Tony Khan did ban all AEW signed talent from participating in the Collective this year.
And all that did was hurt his own company.
100%. 100%. Because, that's the thing people were making a big deal because Tony went and spent all this money to buy advertising at the airport.
Right.
Like when you walked in, the signs above the baggage carriers had AEW signage on it. They were running AEW ads in the airport and that. Cool, these people already know about you, dude. You know what would have been a better way to advertise your shows? I don't know. Put your fucking guys on shows at the conventions. Let them go to WrestleCon.
Yep.
That's the better way to promote your fucking show.
Oh yeah.
But what the hell do I know? I've only been watching this shit longer than he's been alive.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, it's just a fucking joke. He banned all his people, and the reason he did it was because they held the WWE ID tournaments there. Like he won't let he won't let anybody go to GCW anymore, which is a shame for him because GCW is becoming one of the top indie companies in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a chance to watch the show yet, but Sabu wrestled his retirement match on the collective this year against Joey Janela.
I'm gonna have to check that out, dude. That I gotta fucking see.
Yeah, I've got Triller, so I'm gonna watch it eventually when I have a chance. I just have not had a chance to watch it. I was watching the DDT show, and that was getting pretty good. DDT is I think if I remember right, I think the whole company's comedy.
Okay.
It's a comedy. It's not really like it's serious wrestling, good wrestling, because I think Joey Ryan used to work for him.
Okay.
And that's that's where you get that 24-hour belt that he was doing different YouTube videos with for a while.
Yeah,
there.
that I remember.
Yeah, it was pretty funny too, because he came to Rockstar and the Invisible Man had the belt.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's fucking stupid, but it was still funny as hell watching all these wrestlers have to fight. They did a mosh pit scramble is what they used to call it, where they would play like rock music during the match as they did their scramble match, like 5 guys, 10 guys, 15 guys. And they did it, and I think John Murray ended up winning it that night. And John Murray got drunk, fell asleep, and Joey Ryan pinned him while he was asleep to win the belt back. And they did a lot of videos like that, different ways of him winning the belt. Basically, Joey Ryan losing the belt and then winning it back.
Right.
But now Joey Ryan's a piece of shit. We don't talk about him.
Yeah.
He can't even get a job at Disney World because he got a job on the Jungle Cruise. Somebody pointed it out, told and like tagged Disney and half the shit he did, and Disney was like, "Oh no, we cannot have you working here."
That's fucked up. And even the mouth.
Yeah. Brody Lee's son had his debut wrestling match on the collective. I don't know which show it was, but -1 had a match on the collective. I haven't seen it yet, but it seems like a lot of like the basic chain wrestling.
Right.
I mean, he's 12, 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sabu retired. Who was that? I can't remember his name. Hold on, let me bring up Triller for the one show because they had a career versus mask match.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was Fuego del Sol, who used to wrestle in WWE. Fuck if I remember his name though. In WWE, because I don't think he did much. I think he's tagged with like Laredo Kid in that. Where is day 4? Where's the matches? Look, there it is. Spring Break. Atticus Cogar versus Fuego del Sol was a mask versus career anything goes match, like a death match, basically. Atticus Cogar wins the match. Fuego del Sol unmasks, leaves his mask and his boots in the ring.
Oh, damn.
Now, I don't know if he's retired yet or not, or if he is retiring.
Gotcha.
But he did come out and say now that he removed his mask, he can reveal that he is not Mexican, nor is he Latino of any sort. He's Native American.
Nice.
And I'm trying to see what tribe he was from. Mawa Choctaw.
Okay.
He's Choctaw. He confirmed it on social media after his unmasking, addressing assumptions about his race. He might have retired, because he did leave his boots in the ring, and that is essentially the universal sign of a wrestler, professional, amateur.
You're leaving your kit in the ring.
Yeah, they is retiring, but
Mark did that too, and he still wrestled.
who was that?
Undertaker. Mark, he did
Yeah.
that. He literally gave his kit to fucking Reigns, and then still came back and wrestled, which is confusing as fuck.
Yeah, well, I mean, Shawn Michaels also came out of retirement 20 years later and put on a shit match in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that's true. We try to forget that too. As much as I love Michaels, his time had long since passed.
Yeah. And I mean, looking at this show too, it actually looks like a damn good show, the spring break. So I do need to watch it. Minoru Suzuki versus Matt Tremont. Tremont is like your king of the death matches. I still remember he came to Rockstar once, a few times actually. And you look at the guy, you'd swear to God he was like in his 40s and getting ready to retire. Dude was 27 and looked like shit. Like you could have sworn this guy was in his late 30s, early 40s. No, he was 27. And Minoru Suzuki, if you don't know him,
it sounds kind of familiar, but
he is a New Japan wrestler. He is Japanese, and he's a fucking badass.
Okay.
He has all kinds of fucking scars. He has like a bald head.
I've probably heard you talk about it before. That's probably why the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's pretty badass. Megan Bain versus Bazilla. Megan Bain actually a TNA or an AEW wrestler, so it kind of shocks me that she's on the match, on the card. Gabe Kidd versus Mance Warner. I don't know how I feel about this Gabe Kidd guy. He's got a fucking mouth on him, and he's like he's the legitimate cocky type. Atticus Cogar versus Fuego del Sol. Mask versus Career. Los Desperados. Erez, Gringo Loco, and Jack Cartwheel, who was on the WWID program.
Yeah.
Versus the Wagner family. Dr. Wagner Jr., El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., and Galeno del Mal. Zack Sabre Jr., who is I want to say he's the current NJPW champion or the IWGP champion, versus the one called Manders. Manders is pretty good. Zack Sabre Jr. is good, but he's mostly your ground and pound, like your ground wrestler style. Masha's JCW title match, Jersey Championship Wrestling title match. Megan Slamovich, who was also the TNA Knockouts champion, versus Suzu Suzuki. Here's a match that you might be interested in, Ryan. How many of these guys have you seen wrestle? Doug Gilbert. Tommy Rich. Ricky Morton.
Man, that one takes me back.
Dude, Ricky Morton's like 80 and they just took a pile driver on AEW this week. Jesus. Mike Jackson. I have no fucking clue who that is.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
One of the greatest jobbers of all time, George South. I can't believe that dude still wrestles.
No, me either.
And finally, Terry Sapin.
I actually wrestled him once.
George South?
Yeah.
I think everybody has wrestled him if you're in the industry. But that is still a big deal because
super nice guy.
Yeah. Just old as shit. Because I mean, I remember, guys, he was jobbing in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
And finally, Terry Sapinski himself, the Warlord.
Yeah.
Who I think he's still jacked beyond all means, but he's got a gut now.
Yeah.
And finally, the main event. A brutal, no-rope, barbed wire match as Sabu, in his retirement match, faces Joey Janela.
Man, that one hits me. The all barbed wire rip match. The first and last one I ever did was my last match.
That is Sabu's final match. The match that made him famous.
That's where a good chunk of my scars come from.
Sunday shows. They have Effie's Big Gay Brunch. Now, here's my thing. Effie is over the top, flamboyant, gay, does the stupid shit in the ring.
Right.
Like, I think one of the matches he won, because he's their champion. I think he's still their champion.
I've seen him wrestle before.
I hate him. I can't stand him. I think he's terrible. Has nothing to do with his sexual preference or whatever. I don't care about that.
He's a meme.
Yeah. He had the guy vomited in his mouth.
Yep.
That alone tells me you're not one, you don't take wrestling seriously.
And that was you told me about that a while back, and that's why I watched some of his matches after because I hadn't heard from him. I heard of him until like months ago when you were telling me and Matt about that, and I went back and watched him. I was like, oh my god, I can't do it, dude.
No, he's terrible. He's just not a good wrestler. That's the big thing. He's not a good wrestler. His matches are boring.
Yeah.
You know, and people can come at me because he wears the low cut tights. He's got the fishnets on and everything. And you can come at me and say, well, that's just homophobic. I don't care about what his sexual preferences is. I like Sonny Kiss. And Sonny Kiss is trans. I like Sonny Kiss. I think Sonny Kiss is a damn good wrestler. I've met her a bunch of times at Rockstar.
You got to judge people based on their merits, not what they're representing.
I just don't think Effie is a good wrestler at all. And I kind of can't stand the fact that he's the GCW heavyweight champion. He's their top champion.
And if anybody ever says that shit to you, again, just be like, let me tell you about the rejects.
Yeah. So we so in this match, I might watch it, I might not, I don't know, because it does have some wrestlers on here that I actually do kind of like. You have the 6-way gay supper scramble match. Jamie Senegal, again, that is, I've seen her wrestle a few times. She is trans as well. Anton Voorhees, Vipress, Sandra Moon, Brooke Havoc, and Jai Vidal. The only person I know in that match is Jamie Senegal. We have the 4-way match. We have Pero versus Max the Impaler. Max the Impaler is pretty badass, in all honesty.
The name sounds badass alone, man.
She is. I don't know if she goes different pronouns or not. I know she is technically female though. She got a lot of attention when Valhalla came out because Valhalla's look kind of does resemble hers.
Okay.
But she is much bigger than Valhalla is. Zico and Brick Savage. Again, the only person I match I know is Max the Impaler. Sonny Kiss versus Abaddon. That's a unique match because you have a trans versus, I believe Abaddon is gender fluid.
Okay.
But is like the female. Basically, she was born a female. That's the best way to describe it. Very attractive too. Like Abaddon is actually very attractive.
Badass.
What's that?
Badass name.
Yes. Badass care to look her up. Like
I'm going to, man.
I'm gonna get you a picture of her. Hold on.
Yeah.
This is her in her ring gear. Let's make sure I can actually. Yeah, I can use that. This is her. Again, I might, if I'm using wrong pronouns, I apologize ahead of time. I really don't know what they are. Let's do overlay.
Badass look.
Yeah, that's Abaddon. That's her wrestling. She did wrestle for AEW. For the longest time, for a while. I think she actually doesn't wrestle for them anymore. I believe what's that?
I think I might have seen some clips of her because it looks really familiar.
I think her latest look is this one.
Nice.
Yeah, she does some really good makeup when she's wrestling. And she's actually not bad at it. You know, she's not bad at wrestling at all. Her biggest downfall is she worked for Tony Khan for so long.
Yeah.
But she's on the card. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kid Bandit. And then the main event, of course, is Effie defending against Dark Sheik. You have the again. It was the GCW ring the whole time. But I think the Clusterfuck Forever was one of the last matches of the show. They had a scramble cage match with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people to be announced. Then you have the Clusterfuck match. There's like 20 or 30 people in this match. Super Crazy versus Maven.
This fucking Maven?
Yeah, apparently Maven's... I know he's becoming popular because he's been doing a lot of YouTube videos lately.
Okay.
Talking about his time in WWE. Like his most popular one is he talks about how hard it is to be the general manager of Monday Night Raw because he had to do it for one fucking night.
Yeah.
Nate Webb, he's a good local boy. I believe he was I think he was an Indiana guy. Paul London, the Human Tornado, the Warlord, Dan Barry, which Dan Barry was. Go ahead.
Dan Barry Cinemas?
No, unfortunately, that doesn't exist anymore.
I know, it makes me sad.
It is a storage unit now.
Yep.
Dan Barry used to wrestle. I can't remember the name of the freaking tag team, but they were a good tag team a few years ago for CZW. Big Effin' Joe. Hey, somebody found Cheeseburger. Manny Lemons, Dr. Redacted, Ashley Vox, Bam Sullivan, Jamie Senegal, CPA. Apparently, there's an accountant. Unagi Sayaka, Masha Slamovich, Jody the Wrestler.
The Wrestler.
Yeah, the Wrestler versus the Plumber.
Is the Attitude Era again? What the fuck?
Possibly. Brooke Havoc, Jai Vidal, Kid Bandit, Brittany Brooks, Dustin Thomas, Lou Nixon, Bodie Young Prodigy, Santana Jackson, Zeta Steel. Oh, they got... That is a WWE ID person. Tara Zepp, Tommy Invincible, to be announced, The Invisible Man, Nasty Leroy, and Tombstone Jesus.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I mean, there was just so many good
He wrestled on
shows.
Easter.
Was that?
Please tell me Tombstone Jesus wrestled on Easter.
April 20th, 3:30 p.m. or 2 a.m. on April 20th. Yes.
That's fucking awesome.
And I mean, this is the thing. Sign up for Triller. You can do Triller for free for a week. But if you're into indie wrestling, that's where you want to be because get the Triller TV.
That's awesome.
$7.99 after the week. You know, it's not bad, and you get a shit ton of wrestling and indie wrestling in that. But yeah, I mean, Sabu's final match, the blood sport, which is cool because essentially they just take the ring ropes and the turnbuckles off.
Right.
And they do grappling. It's obviously that it's still, scripted, but it's still fun to watch. But I think that's gonna do it for this week. Hopefully we can get together again here soon to talk some wrestling.
Yeah,
so maybe,
man. Things are starting to slowly normalize a little bit for me at the new place. So.
Well, that is good. That is good. I want to try to get a couple of my friends off of Facebook on here too, who I used to talk wrestling with. If I can get Cabby Joe on here, you'll be laughing your ass off the entire time because he'll say some shit.
Fuck yeah, man.
Cabby Joe, for those, I mean, I'm pretty sure most people don't know. I don't even know if you've ever met Cabby Joe or not.
I don't believe I have.
Everybody in the Ohio wrestling scene knows Cabby Joe.
Well, then maybe I do, and I just don't remember because a lot of people.
He's the loudest. He's the loudest, most rambunctious fan at your show. He is who you want at your show.
Okay.
Now, Cabby hasn't attended wrestling in a few years, and I don't think you could ever get him back into it right now.
Yeah.
Unless you dragged him, and he's a pretty big boy. But between him, my buddy John, who goes to a lot of local shows and that, and a few other people I know, I even know a couple of local wrestlers I could try to get on.
Oh yeah.
To talk local wrestling and that, because the scene in Ohio has, or at least this part of Ohio, has kind of cooled off a little bit since Rockstar went away.
Yeah.
There
was a big dip after I kind of stopped for a while, and then obviously Rockstar brought a lot back.
Yeah, Rockstar was bringing the top guys. That's the thing. And a lot of the people who got started at Rockstar are your big top guys now. Your MJF got started at Rockstar.
Yeah.
Wes Lee in NXT, Zachary Wentz, Trey Miguel, all your rascals.
Yeah.
Got started here in Rockstar. Ace Austin got a good start here in Rockstar. A lot of guys like Raymond Eric from the Viking Raiders came through a lot. Phoenix came through a few times. We had a good thing going, but the problem is the people who ran the company didn't really give a shit about wrestling. They wanted, because that was their whole thing. That was their vision when they started making Rockstar and the Rockstar Arena, is they wanted to do once a week wrestling shows and didn't do. They thought they were going to be able to build a venue that rocks, that the musical tent, like the music shows and the rock shows and the punk shows would want to come through. And the problem is that venue didn't really fit music.
Right.
And they got greedy, and unfortunately the person who owned the building sold it.
Yeah.
And they moved over to Belmont off of Waterville Elite.
Yep.
And when they did that, it kind of like, because I stopped going in 2017 because I got fucked over by a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the wrestlers there kind of pissed me off and contributed to me not wanting to go to wrestling anymore.
Right.
At least the local stuff. And or basically I try to look out for people, especially people who look out for me.
Right.
I would always hold people's seats for them because I was always the first one there every week. And I would hold people's seats, if they got there late, and things like that. And then we had a big show coming. Wrestling Revolver was coming, and they were bringing Naito from New Japan. For whatever reason, the tickets went on sale 45 minutes early. And for some reason, the people who I saved and held seats for, not one fucking person could message me and go, "Hey, Steven, you may want to buy your tickets. They're on sale." And that just sat bad with me. And I went to the pay-per-view that I'd already paid for, and that was it.
Yeah, that's shitty.
But now we have DCW, which runs once a month in Springfield and Troy. We have XVW, which me and that guy don't get along. Me and Double P don't really get along too well. Who runs a weekly show in Fairborn, I think. And really there's a couple of shows down in Cincinnati and Newport. And that's it in this part of the I take it back. Dustin Ray's has a company now. He runs every couple of months.
Yeah. I know Brooks' cousin Noah works with Wildcat. He does roughing and stuff.
That's down in Cincinnati, NWF.
Yep. And funny, NWF used to be here in Dayton, and they were one of the they were not the last organization I wrestled for, but they were one of the second organization I wrestled for a little while.
Yeah, they're pretty big. They're still pretty big. I want to say Cody Hawk was working with him for a little bit before he moved to Florida.
But dude, they get all kinds of amazing people through there. They're doing fantastic.
Some of their people are on AEW house shows at times.
Yeah, they've gotten some people on some AEW and WWE house shows before, yeah.
Nice. But I think that's going to wrap it up. We've been going pretty, we're almost 3 hours.
Yeah, I know. I got a new bedtime. We surpassed it, sir.
Well, I apologize.
I'm just fucking with you. I don't really care.
Like I said, I didn't plan on I didn't really plan on doing the show, but I figured it's WrestleMania week.
I'm glad you did, man. Honestly, we haven't had a chance to do a show in a bit, and I've fucking enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, like I said, I'm hoping to get back into regularly doing the wrestling, and hopefully, I'm feeling the itch to go back and do a retro show.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while now.
Yeah. Well, we did the Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to do the first 3 episodes of Monday Night Raw.
And we still need to go back and do that, dude.
Yes, we do. I've still got. I think I've got half of one show done, but trying to get through Rob Bartlett on commentary is really fucking hard.
It's tough.
Because I mean, the first match ever on Monday Night Raw was Yokozuna and Coco Beware. It's literally just fat joke after fat joke after fat joke after fat joke.
Yep.
To the point where you're like, dude, shut this guy up. And unfortunately, if we go through all of Raw like that, we have to put up with him for at least 6 to 9 weeks.
Sadly, yes.
And eventually he turns into Elvis. But Raz, where can we find you?
Well, right now, kind of hard to find me. I've been super busy moving finally and doing events down at the dungeon, which we're doing another one like we talked about earlier on the 13th and 14th of June. Hopefully you'll see me on a lot more shows here with Steven and in general on the LA network. And I got some conventions coming up. I'll talk about more about those soon. I'm still trying to lock down some details, but I got a couple of conventions planned this year to go out and sell some books and promote LA stuff. And a couple more books coming out. About the next 3 or 4 months, I'll be talking about here soon.
Very nice, very nice. And are we still keeping the other thing you were talking about that you're writing under wraps?
Yes, just for now.
Okay. And as always, you can find me at the Bloody Binge Movie Show everywhere. On Facebook, on X, on YouTube. And you can also find me on Twitch at Sewardweller. Eventually, I'm going to figure out how to make my... As I said, I got a brand new webcam. Hello. And I want to make it to where you can see my face as I play Grand Theft Auto or any video game, so you can see how angry I actually get at the video games. And eventually, I will figure out how to do that. I spent the entire day Monday trying to figure that shit out, and I was getting angry doing it. And actually ended up with a headache. Very, very bad.
I'll set you up with Jason because he knows what he's doing.
Very well. But you can find me at Twitch at Sewardweller78. I play games. I've switched back and forth between Facebook and X and Twitch. I haven't figured out which one gets the most viewers. I think it's X, honestly. Not only that, of course, you can email me at bloodybinge@gmail.com if you have any paranormal stories for next week's episode, or if you have any movie suggestions for the Bloody Binge. The Bloody Binge is my main show, of course. It is our horror, cult, grindhouse, exploitation, just any movie, really. Any movie known. I'm trying to do ones that a lot of people don't know about is what I try to do. But sometimes we have to do ones that everybody knows about just because. And
you have a suggestion for you.
What's that?
Do you remember the actor Scott Valentine? From Family Ties and Mallory.
Possibly. It's been a long time since I've watched Family Ties.
He did a super, super, super weird horror movie called My Demon Lover. That is a very little known movie that I highly recommend.
I will look for that. Right now, we're actually pulled. I've actually got everything chosen up through June.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I'm trying to. Well, I try to stay ahead this way. You know, I don't got to sit here like for 3 hours on a Saturday going, all right, no.
Right.
But so coming up on the shows next Thursday, of course, we have Shivers. It is our halfway to Halloween. I guess I'm going to call it halfway to Halloween weekend, but it's not going to be on the weekend. Halfway to Halloween set of shows. Our first show is Shivers. We are going to talk to different haunt actors, people who've worked in haunted houses in the past or currently, that have had paranormal experiences in their haunts. As of right now, I've got somebody from Phoenix who used to work at 13th Gate. I've got somebody who lives in North Carolina, and I think I'm waiting to get back stories from somebody who works at a haunt here in Ohio. I believe it's the haunted infirmary.
Oh yeah.
He's supposed to be emailing me back his stories because he says he's not going to have time to come on, but I will gladly read your stories online if that's the case, or if you're too shy to come on. We're actually very friendly people, so if you want to come on, come on.
Oh yeah.
And after that, our halfway to Halloween episode for the Bloody Binge movie show, we are watching Jacko. This is something I have not watched before, so I'm looking forward to that. And let's get the Bloody Binge page up because we have so many good movies coming up. Tomorrow, don't forget to join us tomorrow for our 420 episode, and we watch Evil Bong. Gotta love full moon movies.
Always.
Let's get down here. We got some really cool movies coming up. Like I said, next week we have Jacko for our halfway to Halloween episode on the 9th, which will be the next time we join you. That is our Mother's Day episode. And can you take a guess what we're watching, Raz? I don't think you'll guess this one because it's not a horror movie.
What is it?
We're watching Big Bad Mama.
Ooh, nice.
We're going back to 1976, and we are going to watch Big Bad Mama because what other movie represents the lovingness of your mother, the loving and caring of your mother, than taking your daughters to rob banks?
Serial mom.
That is true, yeah. But she kills for her kids.
Yeah, and she hates the brown word.
Moving on, we go May 16th. We have coming up Amityville Ripper. We're going to continue our dredge down Amityville. Well, these awful ass movies.
Amityville, Darby Dreamhouse is coming out here pretty soon.
Nice. I don't know, but we did because for the longest time. Well, thank you.
Indeed.
For the longest time, Amityville Thanksgiving was the worst movie I've ever seen on this show. I believe Cocaine Cougar a couple weeks ago might have actually beat it. 50-minute movie, 10 minutes of credits, 2 6-minute montages, so your total watch time was 30 minutes of fucking nothing.
Wow.
The week after that, May 23rd, for Memorial Day, we're going to the beach like everybody else does on Memorial Day, and we're going to watch Broken Lizard's Club Dread.
I love that movie so much.
It is honestly, I like the movie, but it is on the bottom of my list when it comes to Broken Lizard movies.
Yeah, that's understandable. But as a previous massage therapist, I really identify with that movie.
Well, of course, Super Troopers is number one, followed by Beer Fest.
Yeah, and we're still waiting on Pot Fest.
Yes. And then finally, on May 30th, the last day of school here in Ohio, we're going to do our first sequel. We have not done the first movie because it doesn't really tie into the first one. But we're going to watch Corey Feldman in Rock and Roll High School Forever. This is a movie I have not watched since I was a teenager.
Oh, I haven't seen that forever, dude.
Yeah, I found a YouTube version. It is on YouTube, guys.
Yep.
So moving on to June, and I don't even think Jen knows these movies yet. Let's see, where's my list? Missed my list. Where's my list? There we go. So we only have 3 weeks in June because on the 13th I will not be in town. We were going to the Days of the Dead convention in Indianapolis. But on June 6th, we are watching Night of the Axe.
Ooh, God. That's something special right there, buddy.
Yes. The 13th, of course, no episode. On the 20th of June, I don't even know if this might be a movie you may have watched, Raz. We're watching ICP and Raven in Death Racers.
I have indeed seen Death Racers.
That is an asylum movie that is one of them movies that takes advantage of another movie that came out, like Transmorphers and Transformers.
Yep.
Fun
fact about Death Racers: I saw it in a hotel on a shitty laptop with my ex-wife the night after sitting for my medical licensing for massage. I was high as fuck and we needed something to watch. It was just on. I was like, "Oh, it's ICP movie. What?
Honestly,
it can't be that bad."
Yeah, that's one of the
was actually
movies.
fun.
This will be our first ICP movie. Eventually, we're going to watch Big Money Rustlers or Hustlers and Big Money Rustlers.
Yeah.
I just chose this because I wanted an action movie.
I'm also surprised you haven't done any of the Guar movies yet.
No, I haven't got to those.
You have got to do Phallus in Wonderland.
But finally, on the 27th of June, we are watching Death Screams. Now, again, these are all tentative. If something comes up, like if Tubi takes the shit off or something, the movie will change. But as of right now, that is the schedule coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So, other than that, anything else you want to add, Raz?
Nah, man. I like turtles.
Well, guys, we will see you hopefully within the coming weeks for Hardcore Heels. I will see you tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. So, guys, as always, be good to each other and keep watching. Well, I guess tonight, keep watching pro wrestling.
Yeah. Be excellent. Party on.
And horror movies. Keep watching horror.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.